1, 2.
Okay, are we good? Is it working now?
Jib jab.
It looks like it's working now.
Jib jab.
Where's the microphone? The podcast microphone? Yeah.
Jib jab. Sometimes in my bed at night, I curse the dark and I pray for the light.
That's cool.
Is the other microphone for first?
Yeah, I don't think it's working as an audio out.
It hasn't started. I haven't gotten any notifications.
Someone's on right now. It says.
We left it on in the room.
Hello.
This is a new one though. Wait, is it?
Hello.
Got it.
Hello.
Oh, it's working.
Nice.
Is this working?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh.
Here, do you want to try the other ones? Because that could work.
I think we should just keep it while we
that
have it.
one's muted, so.
No, it's not. Muted is you. See, it's working now.
I think we should just keep it while we have it.
Well, yeah, because that was registering for some reason as an audio in. So if we just put this here, this can be a prop for now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, we gotta send out the new link.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Change the link in the profile.
How do you get the new link?
I have it. I'm gonna send it out.
Okay. Oh yeah, send us an email and I'll copy it. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna tell my teacher right now.
It's your turn to join us, too.
Is it on?
It's on.
It's on my laptop.
I just sent myself the new link. Why didn't it go? Okay.
I like listening to myself. It is. It's so much fun.
Okay, I'm gonna send out the new link.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Did you get it working?
Yeah, we fixed it. Don't worry.
That's good. What's up?
They've only been married 7 months. She's already 7.
Do you know all the lyrics?
I was listening to it last night. It's like the only good song
Really?
so far.
I like Ladies Man.
Oh, that's a good one.
How did the cake go?
It's
Did
right
Love
there.
like-
You have to try
Did
some.
Love like her or no?
Love thought it was good.
was
Lynch
good.
thought it was good.
She talked about it to me for 5 minutes.
You want to try some?
It's good.
I
It
just
looks
want to get
good.
rid of it.
You want to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Do you want some?
I don't want to bring any home. Just share a piece.
Okay, the new link has just been sent out to you guys.
Did you read
I'm
it?
sure that your other guests
Share a piece.
that you try
Yeah.
it.
Can you put
I
it?
know that's what I'm saying. Every
Where did
time
I
I'm like,
Can you put in the?
Yeah. Who's putting it in the?
Can you put in the link?
What?
Yeah.
I think.
in our bio.
Whatever works. Oh, the new link.
Yeah, let's just make sure this is back up.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's ready interview.
I'll have a piece of that cake as soon as it brings me some.
So good. Is it okay that I'm sitting here, or do you want someone else?
You're good.
Okay.
Are we all good?
Did you get cake? Fine.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm having so much fun.
Marissa, you gonna join?
Caitlin, did you put it in the?
What are you asking of?
No, I did not.
Okay, I'll do it.
Sorry.
Thank you, Karthik. You have
Fork was.
What do I
a
do?
utensil.
I'll join.
It's on, even though we're using that mic.
Put on headphones?
Do you guys
Sounds
want to
cool.
go on, or?
I don't care.
What am I asking?
What do you want on
Okay.
with you?
Thank you.
Oh my god.
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, you guys can,
I have a
we can
question.
bring people back here too if you guys want.
That is true.
We're using this omnidirectional microphone right here
Oh,
too.
so I can just talk into that.
Well, yeah, but move
Well,
because you're right in front of the
stand,
camera.
You can stand behind there because it can
Oh.
see there's a camera.
It's right here.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry. It's okay. Yeah. Probably over there.
Very good.
Isn't it delicious?
Thank you.
I think it is wonderful.
I made that. I'm proud of myself. Okay. Where does your coffee addiction stem from?
That's a really good
Okay,
question.
We're back up. So very briefly, we just had a little audio issue.
Yeah.
So we're back on a different live stream, on a different link, I should say. So I hope everybody got the link and they can come back and keep on watching.
This will be up.
Yeah, my coffee addiction is, I hadn't actually started drinking coffee until I went to graduate school. So what happened was I would teach from 7 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And then I lived in Squirrel Hill at that time, which is right down the street from Pitt,
Yeah.
And what happened then was I would go in my front door, get changed, and then go back out the back door, catch the bus, go to Pitt, and then have class from 4 to 7. And then I'd come home after that. So I needed to start drinking coffee during that time. So I would go get a snack at Einstein's Bagels. And I started with like lattes, flavored lattes. And then it became what?
The link you just sent out was the link to the old podcast.
What do you mean?
Other people.
So when because whenever
It was-
someone clicked on
There's
it,
one person.
she got sent to the old podcast.
What?
You gonna interview me?
Can we interview Abby?
All right, hello people. Okay.
So next up is Abby Hahn.
Hi.
Put on the headphones so you can hear yourself.
I love it. I love listening to myself.
Abby Hahn, what's the most interesting thing about yourself?
I would have to say
It's the mic is still on if you're
Do you want this
well,
on?
I can make a 3-leaf clover with my tongue.
What? A what?
Show us. You have to show us.
Oh, I
That's
can do
so
that.
cool.
I can do that.
I bet I can do it. I can do
I
like.
definitely can't. I can't do that.
Like,
I can do
close.
it.
I think a lot of people can do it.
Wait.
Maybe it's an Irish thing.
Yeah.
Are you?
It's like saying Irish.
That's close. It's better than I can do. I'm just like,
Can you wait? Can you?
I can flip my tongue.
My
upside down,
name's-
and then
Okay. So, for you two that are in Titanic, what is your favorite song that you've listened to thus far?
I haven't listened to the whole recording at all.
Oh yeah, neither have I.
It's fun.
Let's just hope none of the directors saw this.
It's fine.
But from the ones I've heard, probably the First Class roster. It's so
Can we talk about Abby's sweater?
yeah.
I like
it's
it.
I
so-
know. I love it.
It's
Tell
very
everyone where you
festive.
got it.
Well, actually,
Can the camera see? Sort of.
Mr. Hall, I have the link.
The right one?
my sweater. can you
Yes,
put on
I
the
just got it
bottom?
from YouTube. Yeah.
Was it different than the one I sent out?
Well, actually,
Yes.
this sweater. Yeah.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I'll email it to you right now. I'm sorry, I think I disrupted.
Are we?
Yeah.
Do you want to see?
Karthik, you're famous.
Oh, what? Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's Matt.
Yes.
Minor.
Karthik, come back. Aha.
So actually, I went out with my dad.
Pigmaster.
Because I needed
That's
to
Matt.
Minor?
Yeah.
Close to the ground.
So actually, the other day, I went out to the store with my dad because I needed to find an ugly sweater. And the only things that I could find at Target were like, I didn't like them.
Like the
They
cute
were-
ones.
Yeah.
Well, they're like
Yeah.
tacky.
Who's
Like,
sending
you
it
They
to
were
me?
too tacky.
I know.
So I was gonna
Tell
put
me if you
someone's
got it.
face on it.
You should have put mine.
I was no. I
No?
was gonna put someone's face on
I've seen someone do like a mirror.
Well, that's me.
That's
Oh,
smart.
you
That's
look-
smart.
Abby,
That's
we need
cool.
matching sweaters for next year.
Yes,
Abby, we need matching sweaters.
I just hit the mic.
Don't you love it when you hear yourself?
Wait, how did that?
Because you're pulling it up.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay, sorry. I know this is really random, but I know what the bleb is.
What?
Bleb?
Bleb.
A literal god among men.
Exactly. So what I was told by Dominic Kyoto is that the bleb is like a ninja with purple hair that is supposed to like show up on the screen. And so I looked up bleb, and Urban Dictionary says a literal god among men. He will slap you, your girlfriend, mother,
I'm so
father,
confused.
brother, and sister. And what are you gonna do? Question mark. And that's what the Urban Dictionary says.
What?
Dictionary is amazing.
I know.
You should look up our
Is
names.
this a conversation from earlier?
Yeah, so we have gotten many comments saying that they want to see the Gleb or how they're going to cry because they haven't seen the Gleb yet.
Is it like random people? I love your shirt. It looks very good. It's not working right now, so we can talk.
Not at all.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Won't.
Stunning.
Hang on. Are you guys using this mic?
Yes.
It needs to be straight up and down. And it needs to be this option so it hears everybody.
Okay.
All right, so we're back.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're officially back after some audio issues on the day of code. So ironic that we were having issues of software on the day of code. We were talking about my coffee addiction a second ago, right?
Yes.
And I was telling you about how I needed it whenever I was both teaching and going to grad school simultaneously. And so, yeah, it was born out of necessity that I started drinking coffee. But now, interestingly enough, I drink 1 16-ounce cup per day. But I do go to Convive every morning to get that kind of coffee. And I sort of milk it and sip it and reheat it 35 times throughout the day. So my cup is like reheated so many times. And since I have 3 kids at home, I'm always reheating my coffee at home too. But my addiction level is so strong that if I don't have a cup of coffee, I get like a caffeine-induced headache. But it's sort of what I need right now to keep myself going, you know? Are we all good now?
I think we're all set.
Okay.
Karthik moment.
Yeah.
Karthik. something.
Yeah, if you guys want to send us some questions for what we've got going on right now for the rest of the day, I think I'm this period. Who do we have next period?
I can tell you.
Mrs. Pontier.
Mrs. Pontier, we're talking music. And then 8th period, I think Hildy's coming on.
And 9th is Winchell.
And then 9th period
Seventh
is
is
Mr.
Gallo.
Winchell and Mr. Lamb. We got Mrs. Dr. Gallo, I think,
Yeah.
mixed in there somewhere as
It's
well.
actually 7th.
Okay,
So after Pontier.
right, okay. Wonderful.
Karthik, you have so many fans.
I know.
Do you want to turn that off?
2 of them are right
It's up to you.
there. The others are out here now.
What is the Whole Foods thing? Because I was just introduced to them.
What about Whole Foods?
What is the deal with you and Whole Foods?
It's his second addiction.
I don't
Bougie
really,
food.
yeah, I don't really know if I have a Whole Foods addiction.
It's a lifestyle.
I should say I love to cook. Like at home, I'm always cooking different things, coming into different kinds of cuisine, trying different stuff. So I think that if you're really seriously into cooking, the Whole Foods has a good wide selection of really fresh stuff if you're looking for that.
That's a lie.
You think that's a lie?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you like
Because I
Trader
went
Joe's more?
into Whole Foods to buy powdered sugar and light corn syrup, and
Well, powdered sugar and light
Yeah.
corn syrup are not
That's not
exactly
gonna be there.
farmers market
no, it
items.
was there. It wasn't there. They had it. The shelf was empty.
I like Trader Joe's better.
Well,
I agree.
I know that's a topic for argument.
did you know?
Trader Joe's is better.
Did you know that Trader Joe's actually is a subsidiary of Aldi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
Aldi,
don't make,
loves
don't
Aldi.
they
That's
like
all she ever does.
make their own food?
well, they have no, they don't make.
Well, not like make it, but
But like they have their own
Self-supply.
brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They supply it sort of like Costco has Kirkland brand, Whole Food has 365, Trader Joe's has Trader Joe's brand.
Mhm.
So everything you buy at Trader Joe's is like Trader Joe's brand of stuff that they sell there. Yeah, I go grocery shopping every day though. That's
do
weird.
you actually?
Why?
I can't handle the mental burden of trying to figure out how I'm going to plan for an entire week of food.
I guess
That explains so
makes
much.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
no, just like in my family situation, I would not be able to do that. Like you have to have meals. Like
Yeah, you have to plan it out.
yeah.
Well, I sort of have to do it that way because on a daily basis, I'm getting different requests for different kinds of food,
Oh, that's
you know? And so, yeah, I was going to say something else about grocery shopping. I can't
sorry.
remember. I'm sorry. You're good. Yeah, that's fine. What else you got?
Trader Joe's is amazing.
Well, Aldi is a German brand.
Trader Joe's has like a cult-like
And then-
following, and I don't understand that.
It's all the hippies.
It's fine. I don't understand the
well, I
cult-like
think
following.
I
And
think the reason a
Chick-fil-A's
lot
the
of
same
people
way.
I don't understand
Yeah, it
that.
has their own like thing.
You know what I mean?
I don't.
Chick-fil-A's chicken is good.
I
I
can't.
love
eat it.
Chick-fil-A.
I can't eat
I
it.
prefer Wendy's.
Well, first
No,
of
of course it is.
No,
when
not
I
Chick-fil-A.
have
Chick-fil-A is so good.
something in it makes me sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend that like her whole entire family gets sick after.
I,
she
I think people believe that like Chick-fil-A is inherently more healthy than other fast food
It's not.
restaurants.
That's
fried
I
chicken.
think it's the opposite.
Because when you walk in there, they have like better customer service and they are barred from saying anything other than my pleasure.
But aren't
Yeah.
they like a southern company?
I don't know. I think they might
The
be.
dude that runs it's very like religious, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So
And they do like they'll bring you like mints and all those sorts of things. Whereas at McDonald's, you're lucky if you go up to the counter and like somebody's actually working there.
Yeah.
So I think people are tricked into believing that like Chick-fil-A is healthier than the other fast food places. My kids love it too for some reason.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I understand all of the hype. It's so
The only reason I like Trader Joe's is because I can find a lot of like vegan and vegetarian options. And that's like the only reason. It's easily accessible.
Yeah,
I can find
I
stuff.
got you.
I understand that.
That and like the Giant Eagle Market District, but it's
Too big.
It's overpriced.
Where
it's,
is that?
It's hard to find
What?
stuff.
Do you have any other like
Addictions.
not addictions? Not addictions, like other hobbies that you enjoy, like cooking and stuff. We talked.
I wouldn't.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. This is gonna sound really lame, but I think I used to have hobbies, a lot more hobbies.
You have kids.
I love traveling. Like I
Yeah.
really can't wait to get back to that. I love when I was in college. I studied abroad as I've talked about in class. Somebody's asking a question there. What is the question?
Señor Hall, ¿dónde aprende
No,
tu
I-
español? El practices tanto como
Who said
tu
that?
Tracy
DeGarmo.
Señora
Oh,
DeGarmo.
señora de Garma. Yo
Many times did John.
hablé español cuando estaba en España.
I say I botched all of that.
I can't say that.
I learned Spanish when I studied abroad in college, señorita de Garma. I minored in Spanish, and I don't really know why I did that. It doesn't really do anything for me at this point. I got 18 credits. I got 9 of them when I was there. And since we're talking like outside of the textbook, if I must admit something, it's that I lived with a study, like a family when I was there. Like, I lived with a regular household of people. And one of the kids that I lived with was my age. So when I came home, I had a large stack of homework from all the classes that I had from the University of Salamanca. And when I came home, Alberto was the kid's name. He would help me do all of it, which means when I say help me do it, he pretty much did it for me. And it's really interesting because I learned so much more going out with him and going to all the different events that he'd taken me to than I would have based on doing my worksheets that I had for class. Just learning how to speak with people. I had to keep up or else I wouldn't have gotten along with people. And so I do have a Spanish minor now, and I haven't spoken it in probably 5 or 6 years since the last time my wife and I went back to visit. And that's one of the things I'd love to do. Like when my kids get old enough, I'd like to take them back, to meet with Alberto again. He's a doctor now in Spain. He's a pediatrician. And so I'd love to do that. I went to Italy. Our next trip is probably going to be to Disney World, though. I've never been to Disney World.
Neither
Neither
have
have
I.
Yeah.
I've been.
I've never been there. I don't even really know if I
Disneyland is
want to
better.
go.
I've been to
It's just not my
Disneyland.
sort of
I was like,
thing. It's not my sort of vibe. I sound so hipster right now. I'm talking
That's
about
okay.
Whole Foods,
It's the
Trader
sweater.
Joe's, coffee,
Mr. Hall,
and
you
not
are.
and travel, and not
You're a
wanting to go to Trader Joe's.
You're an
Or, I'm sorry,
English
not wanting to go to
teacher.
Disney World.
Mhm.
So all those things scream incredibly high
I mean,
hipster vibes.
You're an English teacher
Yes.
too.
So I'm holding up all of those things on multiple
And the
fronts.
sweater.
And the sweater too.
The
So
fit.
yeah.
You
Hey,
could
how's our
travel.
audio out there for all the people who got back on the live stream? Is our audio better? Are we doing better
They all
now?
got bans.
What's that?
Yeah, everyone's
There was
getting
very
good.
hard-
banned
There was
because
very
they were
carpet moment
being
too much.
bad.
Well, someone
Um,
just said that it was cool.
well,
that
Mrs.
we're doing
DeGarmo
this and
commented.
They got blocked.
We have 4 people.
She said
Yeah,
yes.
okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, commenting isn't banned because Senora DeGarbo is still
Yeah.
commenting.
Well, not all. You can ban certain.
You can ban
Yeah.
certain people. So
There was
they
one
ban
NSF
people
Oh,
for
people who
evening.
were just sort of off topic or whatever.
not asking questions.
I see.
And
Yeah. Hey, let me remind people who are here that we are, if you ask questions, and there were some people who were asking
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah.
we're still giving away our 5 $1 gift
$1.
certificates to Tiger,
Free
That-
water.
that Dorito thing out there. Not the
The
coffee.
cart.
Yeah, the
cart.
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 The food
Certificate,
one, the
safe
Pop-Tart.
free
So
cart.
you guys, if you ask a question, you can get a Pop-Tart for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
I would love to get a pop.
Technically 2 Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
Think about
That's true. That's true.
it. And
And-
one sheep.
Hey, we have to mention here a shout out to Mrs. Oliver,
Of course.
who I believe that Mrs. Oliver, you can see her in the bottom of the screen there. She's run this entire thing with a great attitude. There's been a lot of really cool sessions today that I've attended. People from Google, there was a professor from CMU in Pitt who was talking about personal finance and coding and how to use data and all these sorts of things. Am I talking too loud?
No,
Okay.
you're fine.
Your mic just.
You're like up close.
Oh, okay. But we're really talking about that one.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
In your headphones.
yeah.
So lots of cool things, and I'm happy. I mean, I think people need to know that we, and when I say we, I mean predominantly Caitlin, came up with this idea from our NGEA conference that we went to in Washington, D.C., and there were kids who did an all-day podcast
From Missouri.
from Missouri.
Yeah.
Did you give them a shout-out already?
I
Yeah.
actually commented
Yes,
on
we
their
did. Okay.
12-hour podcast to come watch ours
Okay.
that we got the idea.
And so when we go into post-production here, we're gonna have to bring our first part of our podcast together from when we lost audio, when we tried to make it better
Yeah.
and put it together with the second one. But we thought, it's like a day outside of the curricular scope, which we then thought, well, we should try something new. And we brought it together in like 3 or 4 days, got teachers to come, scripted some questions, and just thought, like, let's get it going. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what good conversations we can come up with, like a deeper dive into people's lives, what they think, what they do, stuff that you don't normally hear in class because there's not quite enough time to talk about those things, So thank you for doing that, Caitlin. Just spreading holiday cheer
What are some fun stories from the trip?
from our DC trip.
Yes.
Um,
Are we allowed
Many
to
fun
tell?
stories.
what time do we have till?
19.
19, okay.
Zoe was in the
From
room with the
DC,
mouse.
I know you
can talk
guys
about it.
like all the,
It was so much fun.
you guys like all
I
the
wasn't.
fun social
Yeah.
stories. We've stayed in this hotel down the street
Do we say the name?
from, yeah, we can say it, It's called the Liaison. And so really, it used to be a really nice place. And
It's
it is.
very pretty.
It is.
Yeah,
It has
so-
rats
It is
now.
But we got more people coming in.
Live and Chelsea.
Okay. We're gonna dip,
But
of course.
this year we had mice coming to people's room, and then when we alerted the front desk,
My room.
they told people, "Are you okay with that?" We had to negotiate with
What?
them. Mr. Morris was trying to get like money off and all that kind of stuff. So that happened. It was our first time going to this national conference,
It was so nice.
It was
really cool.
I'm so happy I went to it.
Yeah.
and I should
Except for
say,
like day two. I like day two.
I didn't like day one.
I
Day
like
two was
them.
my favorite.
Day,
Yeah.
day one had better sessions.
it all
Day two
depends on
didn't.
which sessions you go to.
Yeah.
I went to a session with a few Pulitzer Prize-winning photographers, and it's interesting because I'm not a photographer at all. Like Mr. Geibel's a really good photographer. I know Mr. Funka's a good photographer.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I can take a non-blurry picture with an iPhone. I'm a writer. I love telling stories. I love like crafting lessons and stuff like that. So when these guys and one really awesome girl, one really awesome lady as well, we're talking about the change that their photography can make and what sort of impact they can do visually. It got me thinking about like what we're doing here. And I know if you're listening right now, you can't look around. But we've got this really cool new podcast studio that Mr. Geibel had thought and implemented. So thanks to him for doing that. We've got a green screen over there that Mr. Hyrie had painted. We've got lights. We just did a YouTube live today. We tried, that was one of our audio problem we were having, is getting these two things to sort of talk to each other. But like, I think that's the beauty of this is it's all happening so quickly
Yeah.
that we're trying to catch up with it.
Exactly.
And we're not bending ourselves based on the technology. We're trying to use the technology to do what we want to do. So much of this newspaper stuff that we've been doing, I'm going to change the course name next year, honestly, 21st Century Journalism, because
Oh, that's so cool.
Nice.
every day there are new like infographics. I went to a whole
Yeah.
session on using infographics.
Yes.
VR, virtual reality, is another like really big way of storytelling that's coming, where you're going to put a headset on, and instead of like watching the State of the Union address that the president gives or whatever, you're actually going to be there. And part of it's really scary too. And so we got to think about like, how do we be ethical about that and not make it go too far? Like Jurassic Park has warned us
Yeah.
about when
There
sci-fi
are-
goes too far.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies that have like in books that have
Yeah.
gone
Dystopian.
into that. And I went to many sessions that were about infographics and stuff like that, and it was saying like all of them said how important it is to always have an infographic in each of your articles. Or
Yeah,
each
because
of your
people don't want to read
stories.
anymore.
Because people are going to look at it and that's the information they're going to take in, and they're most likely not going to read the rest of it.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it can.
And
But
when
it's you just have to move along with it though.
Yeah.
And then from making that, like making videos, making things that are more engaging.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to make stuff more engaging. I think one of my main takeaways when we were there too is on the first night, Chuck Todd,
Yes.
everybody was so much waiting for him. From MSNBC, from NBC, the guy who does like the election map. He does Meet the Press as well.
What
And
a guy.
yeah, I think he's really used to talking to adults, sitting down in the seat and talking
His first like,
politics with adults.
Yeah.
his first like half an hour was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, because he did like his own
Will you
whole
listen?
okay boomer.
Yeah.
I listened.
I think
That
what really
I was the
frustrated,
one that said
yeah, I think what really frustrated
Oh wait,
me,
that was you?
yeah.
if I'm being
Did you
honest,
actually?
Yeah.
You were the person that screwed me.
That's great.
if I'm being honest, I think one of the things that frustrated me was when he did that, when he started the talk,
Yeah.
and after the initial hype was over, I looked around, and I'm not talking about our kids, I'm just talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
all 6,000 kids who were in the
Uh-huh.
ballroom that night. I think half of them were probably on Snapchat instead.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good like illustrative metaphor about like where we are now with like school and all that sort of thing, that kids want to eat junk food more. So when you're marketed with junk food 24 hours a day, when you're connected to your phone, look, I don't think phones are the problem. I don't think computers are the problem. I think it's that what we read, what we look at when we're on there is the problem. So
Yeah.
like I have Twitter, and I really like to read a lot of the stuff that comes through my Twitter because I follow some really interesting people. But on my personal like Facebook page, there's a lot of garbage that comes through on there, and it makes you feel like insecure about
Yeah.
yourself. And it's addicting because it leads you down this like algorithmic path of seeing stuff that you probably aren't doing good for your brain. And I think I see that a lot with teenage kids now, that they don't know, and I think this is part of what we're trying to do now. They don't know how to use or like read those things effectively. I'd rather eat Doritos all day too. And I think that's what we get. And so I just wish that people like had the patience to sit there and listen to somebody like Chuck Todd, because the dude has a lot of wisdom to pass on. And if he's not up there giving like a fireworks show, like it's our responsibility to sit and listen and pick out like the nuggets that make sense to you. And if he's not up there with like an interactive slideshow presentation full of like infographics, like Hassan Minaj style, like I love Hassan Minaj, like it's very watchable, and that's on Netflix.
The only thing that they did that we can contribute to is that we were able to submit questions.
Yeah.
And those are most of the
Really?
yeah.
I didn't even know
So
that.
the questions that the interviewer asked were questions that the students or probably most likely teachers had submitted,
Yeah,
and those are what he went over.
right. Do we get another question? I see something pop up there.
John Dowd said, none of my messages are getting through.
Yeah, we turned off some of the, Mrs. Oliver came in and was
He does have a
turning off
question for you.
certain questions and submissions and things, but we can't see it, John, so
There is a question.
we
I would
can
like-
see it.
Have you listened to Pink Floyd? That's what he's asking.
Oh, we'll have a listen to Pink Floyd.
Good
The
question.
Wall is the album that everybody talks about when they listen to Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their guitar player, is his name Roger Waters? Is that correct in my brain right now? Can somebody look that up?
You got it?
Yeah. Look, my mom loves Pink Floyd. My mom and her boyfriend go see Pink Floyd everything.
Yeah.
They're a little bit too like trancy for me.
Okay.
But I do love like Dead and Company.
Mhm.
And that's probably because like John Mayer is playing guitar for them now. And
You're
John
just
Mayer
obsessed
is,
with John
and I
Mayer.
love John Mayer, and I love his lyrics and I love his music, but he's a guitar virtuoso. And he's put himself in a position now where he's playing with all these old guys, and he's like reviving their band and like, providing them with like a new set of skills, like this whole bluesy thing that Jerry Garcia had back in the day. I love jam band music, but the Dead, it's just a little bit too like, I'm sorry, Pink Floyd's just a little bit too like weird and trancy for me.
Do you ever wish that you did music?
Yes, every
Yeah.
day. I wish if I weren't a teacher, I'd either want to be a rock star or a chef. They're all like, or both. They're all like very public positions where you're very easily criticized.
Yeah.
So like as a teacher, you know, you're always going to get criticism from kids, whether you're doing something right or you're doing something wrong, and it's hard. Like when you're in a public position like that, it's hard to get that criticism.
So the person that had asked the question says that the man that you had mentioned is actually the bass player.
Oh,
And
Yeah, I
he,
googled it.
and
Roger
he-
Waters is
He's
the
the bass
Yeah.
player.
David Gilmour.
David Gilmour, that's right, yeah.
He
And
couldn't
then-
hear.
Yeah, and then
Who couldn't hear?
he also said,
John.
Who?
Mr. Hall said that Pink Floyd is too trance.
Yeah.
I believe the word is what is the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, who couldn't hear?
Does that
Somebody
mean it's
couldn't hear
on
me.
mute?
John Dowd.
Does
Okay.
the red light mean it's on mute?
No, we're good.
No.
We're good.
Okay.
If
I
it's
think
blinking,
if it's
If it's
John
blinking.
loves Pink
Okay.
Floyd.
yeah.
John Dowd.
Okay, this is not about Pink Floyd,
Oh, I'm sure.
but do you want to talk about that open forum we went to on the trip?
The open forum.
Yeah,
What open
All in
forum?
controversy. Were you in all of
I think it was.
Fallen
The one
the
where
four
we,
people at the front?
yeah, the one where we heard about like mostly about journalism in other schools besides ours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I wish we still had the
How-
group.
Yeah, we are really lucky.
Yeah, I missed the group chat.
No, I just want to see like the stuff that we were talking
did
about.
they,
'cause
did
I
they
barely.
delete it?
I want the memes.
I don't think we realize how lucky we are. I mean, people complain about NA, people complain about Pittsburgh, you complain about all sorts of things. It's human nature. But when we went to this open forum, kids were talking about like, look, there's an LGBTQ chapter on our campus. Can we report on them? And then they were being shut down for doing that, or you know, like something semi-controversial was happening there, and they would
Or-
report on it.
Or the Russians would hack their newspaper.
Yes.
There was this one girl. I ended up having a really nice.
I think I
conversation
actually
with her after
recorded
that.
that.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
might have. I can play it.
I completely forget her name, but it was right after we published the Fighting the NA and Unethical article on how at NA there's such the culture of like cheating, and even though we're so like a good district, it's like the same for them. How a lot of people got cut.
What is that?
This was their conversation.
Just being smart, you know? Yeah. Yeah, so we talked we asked our department. Okay. We asked our principal for like all of our statistics and stuff. Yeah. And he gave it to us because the school in the state that's better than us is like 15 minutes away. So yeah, and so he gave it to us. He was like, oh my gosh, you're probably just gonna use these stats to show off how great we are. And we're like, no. So we're like 15th in PA, and PA is like first in the like country. I assume it would be second in Georgia, which is something. But I'm not flexing, just saying. His choice is shit. But and then this is all around us, like people selling it, like if it was all cheap. And there's like surveys, like
So basically, it was Marissa and her talking about how their school wanted to like shut down what they were doing.
Yeah, she wanted to write an article where it didn't like.
It was about cheating.
It was about cheating on the ACT and SATs, and she didn't want to make the district look bad, but in a way, you had to like talk about how students, like, why are students doing this, and it wanted to be like a more investigation piece.
Yeah.
It was just super interesting because I completely different topic. Throughout this whole conference, I got to talk to so many people our age, meet new people, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like what 6,800.
Yeah.
Almost.
That was their
7,000.
highest number by far.
Yeah, and it was just such a great
People
experience.
from everywhere.
Yeah,
China.
China. I didn't meet anyone from China, but they said people from
UK.
China. It was just such a good experience.
Yeah.
To be able to talk to people with obviously different backgrounds. It's very, very good to talk to people who have different stories than you, learn stories, and being able to like ask them anything. And I'm just very grateful for
Yeah,
being
I-
able to go.
I think that's what, like as an outside of the curriculum sort of thing, like that's what school should be, you know?
Yes.
The school is like about figuring out who you are, what you want to be, and like opening up your world, not keeping it so closed. So
Being able to do those opportunities
Yeah.
where you get to learn new things.
Right.
outside of this classroom.
I remember when we were at museum, I think it was 2 years ago, I had a bunch of kids pose in front of the map about free speech, and most of the world does not have anything like the First Amendment.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I talked about this in journalism the other day, but Russia just passed a law that said that any journalist who speaks against the state is subject to being thrown in jail. It was listed as a foreign agent.
Wasn't there something in America like that back in like John Adams' term or something?
Like what?
Like what the law that Russia just passed? Wasn't there something similar where they said like if you talked bad about the government, you could be thrown in jail?
I'm sure, and that would, hey, later on in today's podcast, you could ask
Okay.
history teachers more about the history stuff,
Sure.
about presidents and stuff. But yeah, so the First Amendment is something that we had to think a lot about our trip, about free speech and about all those sorts of things. In some other schools, I think the point that we were making before was their administration wasn't supporting their investigations.
Yeah.
I think a lot of student newspapers function as just like a PR arm in the school.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a day of code going on. Let's go report on it, which
Yeah.
we are. Like, we have kids out there taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it should be about you, and not.
Yeah, we've had other ones like just criticizing whether being busy at NA is a good thing.
Right, and you only by asking questions do you get better at thinking about
Yeah.
what you believe in truth and all those sorts of things.
So we have a comment
Yeah.
about what Caitlin had been talking about, and it was saying that they believe that it was during World War I, and that it was an act passed that prohibited prohibited talking bad during the war effort.
Okay.
So that's what.
I think it was something during the revolution that I remember.
I'm sure it happened multiple times.
Yeah.
There's always been a concerted effort to do
Yeah, but I feel like this one, like unlike the war effort with that, like that one makes more sense. But this one was just like John Adams.
You got any? We have like 5 more minutes. You want to jump to any other topics? Caitlin, did you have anything else? As I take another bite of your vegan joke.
Would you ever be vegan?
No. I love food way too much.
I love food too.
I know. I could do vegetarian for a while, but like cream, butter,
I can.
They're all substitutes.
uh,
Almond milk
cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano cheese is worth my life. 24-month minimum. Raw milk if you can. Like the salty, nutty component of Parmigiano Reggiano. And I'm going back to my hipster thing now. I'm talking about cheese like it's a person.
Because I don't drink a lot of milk, I'm a vegetarian.
I don't care about milk.
I don't
could go
drink a
without
lot of milk. I now get sick if I drink just like straight milk.
Yeah, I could go without milk.
Milk doesn't taste good.
I don't like that.
I like it. Believe me, I do like it, you know? Heavy cream added to anything automatically makes it better.
I do not agree with that.
No? Are you listening to us right now? Thank you. There's a kid through the glass who's listening. As soon as I made my comment about heavy cream, he automatically perked up. Whatever.
Yeah, that's Colin.
Call it. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, speaking of food, I'm very proud to admit that my daughter for her birthday wants carrot cake.
Carrot cake is amazing.
Like she's 4 though.
I don't care.
I know, but it's like spice cake with nuts and raisins, and cream cheese frosting. And I'm happy that she wants that.
So for I think it was maybe my 4th birthday, I had a Dora cake. So it was a cake shaped as Dora, and I remember, so my mom made it, and I remember she forgot to put her Dora's yellow bracelet on, and I was so upset.
Wait, there's another question that came through. Sorry.
How do you cook your steak?
Rare,
Well,
medium.
There's only one right question to that.
And the answer is
how do you eat your steak?
If you cook your steak beyond medium,
I
don't trust you
No.
as a person.
Have you
Anything
have
that
you
you
seen
say.
Have you seen the viral video? It's why he
If you put ketchup on your steak,
no ew.
What about ketchup on your meatloaf?
it's fine.
Why
Okay.
If you put A1 sauce on your steak, there's like a little bit of me that hurts.
so it's like why I season my steak.
Like the
Like-
salt guy.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like it was like this whole it was like why I season my cutting board.
Oh
and not
yeah, oh
steak.
my god, I
yeah.
saw
And then
that.
it's
Jamie
like-
Oliver, he seasons his cutting board. A little bit of rosemary, garlic oil, rubs that all in. It's wonderful.
But the comment section of that video is what is amazing. It's absolutely
Comment
hilarious.
sections of videos are going to be the downfall of our society. It's where all of everybody's subconscious truth comes out, and you realize just how far down the rabbit hole we've actually gone. Comment sections of videos.
Mhm.
I'm being very depressing right now.
That's fine.
Oh, do anything else?
No.
Who's our next guest?
Dr. Gallo.
They're gonna,
Well, I
you're gonna
love this
talk
part.
chemistry, you're gonna talk
Frontier.
biology.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she's gonna talk about the day of code a little bit, because like science is day of code, right?
Yes.
Okay, can I pitch you guys all something in the room right now?
Yes.
Mrs. Oliver is here too. Okay. She looks like she's doing some hardcore like computing on her phone.
I'm retweeting a podcast.
She's on Twitter. You're retweeting what?
I updated my Twitter.
For the new link.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you, because of our audio issues before. Here's my idea, Mrs. Oliver, as I step out of the podcast studio in the way for Dr. Gallo to come in. So Day of Code is like sort of STEM-ish, right?
STEM.
Science, technology, education, or what? Engineering and math.
Isn't it STEAM now?
Well, now it's
Arts
STEAM, but they put the
and
A in to make us English teachers feel better. But we all know the truth is that the real money is in the sciences. So everybody wants to get good grades in math and science, whatever. But what if we had a day next year called like something, there was a kid, you know Coleman Walsh, he came up with the idea. A day of wokeness.
Wait, I explain because I feel like
It's
your
this.
idea might be good.
It's this, that a day of code is around computing, data, making, all those sorts of things. What if we had a day where we had like writers, novelists, podcasters, movie photographers,
So-
all of those people come and talk about like the humanities skills which are necessary for 21st century job market and for the whole student sort of thing.
So the convention brought here.
Well, yeah, but not so journalistically focused.
Yeah.
It could be more broad, you know? It could be focused around topics which are more heavily embedded within the humanities than they are in STEM. And then we could use that as a way of like bringing STEM and the humanities together as like one big happy family. This is like the grand master plan, though,
Yes,
right?
it is.
I'm like 60%
Did you hear that?
Sure, my parents don't believe it.
Not really? What? No, I don't know what, she was just, yeah.
Just said that my parents don't believe.
I did.
Who said
No, I
that?
didn't
Maya?
say
Yeah, I
that.
said I'm
Oh,
60% sure my
Maya's
parents
what?
don't believe in the humanities.
I saw Mia's lips move, and it was Maya's voice.
I'm 60% sure my parents don't believe in the humanities, you said?
Yeah, it's like I told them, I was like, oh, maybe I want to do like a journalism degree. And they're like, we won't pay for your college
Yeah.
then. And I was like, all right, doctor it is.
Right.
Do a doctor and then use all the money you make as a doctor to go back to
It was
school
like
and get a
minor.
Well,
journalism.
I will say this, like, people have such a plan, you know? And then if you always ask people when they get older, there's a writer who went to NA, her name's Marina Fang, brilliant. And if Marina is listening right now, if Mr. Caruso and Nash could like reach out to Marina and tell her we just name dropped her. She writes for the Huffington Post right now, not her career plan at all. I don't think it was her parents' career plan either, but she's very successful and she does that. And she might struggle with those like issues of identity, like what I do or whatever. So it's like, I don't know how many people end up doing what they thought they were going to be doing in the very beginning, myself included. Like I was going to be a graphic designer.
I could see that's so hipster.
Yeah, but then I realized that I was not nearly as good at graphic design as
You thought you were.
as well. Like when you get in a room with these people with sleeve tattoos and spacers in their ears, you realize that they are so much better at this because they've watched YouTube videos on how to do it, and all you did was take a class. You know, like how much of learning actually exists in a class versus you can just teach yourself how to do something on YouTube.
I learned more from the Immune Sisters than I do from Dr. Gallo.
I learned more from Khan Academy than I do from Mrs. Choice.
Well,
I
let's
love
not get
this.
into that right now.
Don't worry, I
but
love
like
it.
I have
right now.
used to study I have used to like study my bio stuff. I have used Amoeba Sisters videos, and then I'm able to like understand them too.
Well, and I don't even know if it's like, look, I do not like online school. I just want to be clear when I say that, because I've taken online classes at Pitt before, and they're a waste of time because all you do is you get a reading list, and then they tell you to read it, and then they grade it. I think that people ought to be in a room talking, conversing, and understanding together. You know, what is she saying?
I don't know.
We're having so many distractions. Yeah, I don't think that all schools should just be looking how to do something, because a lot of understanding is built between people, and I think the human element still needs to be there. Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of my favorite classes are the ones where like you still learn a lot, but you get a lot of time, like downtime, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I like your class because like I get to work with people who I never worked before, just on interests.
Yeah.
I probably would have never worked with Mia
Yeah.
too, or Maya.
Well, you're interested too.
Yeah.
You know, if you take a workshop class like journalism, which is not like a lecture-heavy class, and you're not self-interested, you might just sit,
Yeah.
you know, and like not do so much. So it has to be intrinsically motivated too. Are we waiting for Dr. Gallo right now?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are looking out the window for?
No, Claire's here.
Oh, okay. We're at a class transition right now, I think is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I just saw some people hop off the live stream for now, and they'll probably hop back on.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's
Oh, Mrs. Pontier's coming in right
Pontier,
now.
not Gallo.
Yes, sorry, we messed up the pattern there. Mrs. Pontier's coming in. Let's have her sit right beside you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna switch with you.
You're gonna switch
Are
with
you
me?
staying?
Oh, you say okay. Okay, I'm gonna switch, and I'm gonna sort of transition over.
I need to take
I mean, this is like a pretty chill day.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Who's next? Alright.
We have Mrs. Pontier coming on. That was mine, thank you.
Would you like some cake?
I would know
We
that.
have, it's vegan, Mrs. Pontier.
How did you know that?
Are you vegan?
Yeah.
Oh, you and
So
Caitlin
am
are
I.
at
Would you
field
like
day
some
right now.
cake?
Wait, why is everyone vegan?
I just turned
I'm
vegan.
I was
vegan this summer.
Hi.
I'm a vegetarian.
I've been vegetarian
But I
since I
tried
was
Do you wanna put your headphones
But
on?
I
I've been
tried
vegetarian since
vegan.
a year now.
That's why
And
I
I
eat my
vegan
salad.
salad.
How long have I been here? Before.
You gotta get your salad, you
I
said?
kinda just want a singular bite.
You have lunch right now.
I just a singular.
That's, like, do you wanna eat here or do you wanna leave? Because either are fine.
No, I'll go back and eat.
Okay, that's
So I
fine,
don't
yeah, yeah.
crunch on the air.
Oh, yes. I'm gonna hop off, I'm gonna let, do you have Caitlin and Mia in chorus?
I
I
don't.
don't take chorus.
Oh, okay.
I
Do any of you guys have chorus? Do any of you
No,
guys have
I was in small ensemble in 5th grade.
So-
I was
I'm
in
in the
5th grade
musical.
small ensemble.
See, there you go.
What we're trying to do
Do you want me
is,
on there?
like, we're trying to bring in every subject area, one teacher from every department, sort of like get a behind the scenes look at their life, what they believe, like what they're passionate about, that sort of thing. And so you are, of course, representing the entire music department here at NAI because, well, you're iconic.
Well, Nancy said that.
There you go. And he's not here. He
Yeah.
would have done that, I'm sure. He's at a Midwest conference. For band, right, Marissa?
Yeah, he's at Midwest.
Alrighty, well, let's get
Yeah.
started.
Very cool.
Okay, so you obviously teach chorus. When did
I
you
do.
realize that you wanted to become a chorus teacher?
Wow, it's been a long time. I guess I've been teaching for, this is year 33.
Wow.
So it was way, way back. But I don't know, I was real involved in all the music activities in high school. And at the same time, I performed a lot at my high school and in my community. And so I went to school for a music performance degree and coupled that up with an education degree. So I felt like I had the best of both worlds and that I really, studied my instrument really seriously, but I could also do that and take all of that knowledge and share it with young kids. And students keep us young. It's a great job, so.
And where did you go to college?
I went to the Peabody Conservatory of Music, which is It's actually the oldest music conservatory in the United States. It's part of Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, Maryland.
Have you always taught at NA?
No, I started teaching in Baltimore County Public Schools, actually. Then I came back and taught at Mount Lebanon and Penn Trafford, and then I landed a job here at NA, and I started at Ingham Martin Middle School.
You taught at Mount Lebanon. Do you know Roger Tabler?
That sounds really
He
familiar.
was the band director.
Yes, it sounds super familiar,
Yeah.
so.
I had him as a conductor last year for the Pittsburgh Youth Philharmonic Orchestra. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
It wasn't the greatest because I was one of the youngest there. I was in 8th grade. Everyone else was in high school, and the songs were hard.
Yeah. They want to challenge you, so.
And it was once a week. I had to learn Czech 4 within a month.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was-
that's,
He expected us to do that in a month.
that's ambitious.
So going along with obviously the singing aspect of chorus, if you had any advice for aspiring singers, what would it be?
You know, I just think play as many instruments as you can. Piano is just so important for singers, I think, or guitar. Being able to accompany yourself is really great. And I think learning a lot of different styles, being able to cross over from, having classical chops and pop and, musical theater and soul, just try to dive into as many different things as you can when you're young, because all of that will really make you the artist that you end up being.
Do you like musical theater?
I do. I love musical theater.
Marissa
Yes.
and I are both in Titanic.
That's wonderful. You'll have a great time. It's a great show.
excited.
Yes.
I'm excited now. I wasn't excited until last night.
Me too.
Then
Oh,
they,
yeah? What happened last
well,
night?
they announced their like ideas for the set, and so they're gonna
It's just gonna
somehow
be a very
they're gonna
good
make
show.
they're
I'm
gonna make
excited.
the stage tilt.
Something.
They're gonna have an optical illusion.
That'll be cool.
They will do that because that staff that works on that
Oh, I
set.
They're
love
amazing.
everyone who works for NA Musical. It's so great.
Yes.
Like even middle school and high school, because there's only one person that's different.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. It's great. It's a great experience, and NA just does a great job with musical theater. So I'm
Their
excited
musical
you
theater
guys are-
program is usually people are complaining about the arts like not having funding,
Mhm.
and I can agree. NA's arts like it is funded, but like compared to football,
We're really lucky.
yeah.
We all
And you
And
have to understand.
NA in general is just extremely funded. So
And a lot of that with the musical, it's ticket sales that drives a lot of that. Really, a lot of the budget, so you can do the cool things that you do also.
we learned that somehow, some way, they're gonna get the tickets when you buy your ticket. It's gonna be someone who died on the ship, so you can go or no,
So
someone
they're
who
trying
wasn't-
to do it.
who
You
went
have
on the
like
ship,
a name on your ticket.
and then they're gonna have the posters out. And you get to see if you lived or not.
Well, that's great.
Well, it would be cool to like be able to like take that musical and bring it home with you, and
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
someone comes home with a bigger interest in it or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
for
always
sure.
cool.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite musical?
Oh, I just love Les Mis. I'm sorry. I know it's been around forever,
Les
but
Mis
I
is so
love
nice.
the music. And
It's
it's a great show. It's a difficult show to do. And, yeah.
It's
Well,
such a
that's
good
good.
show.
That's
Like, there's so many people, like, one of my favorite things to do with some of my music friends is just, like, to look around at, like, the people who are in casts that we've been with and, like, our friends who are in musical and be like, you could play this character. The one that I got is Gavroche. And it's like, you know what, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. He's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, yeah.
Marissa, if you were in Les Mis, who would you be? Who would you want to play?
I like playing ensemble roles, honestly.
Mhm.
I had a lead once or twice, and it just wasn't my thing. I don't know. That sounds
You like being in
stupid.
ensemble?
I like doing the behind the like being able to
Yeah.
do more like behind the scene.
There's a lot of ensemble.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
There's-
you can do.
The ensemble in Les Mis and Titanic are both really cool.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Titanic, the music is gorgeous.
It falls
Beautiful.
under like the Les Mis type.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wasn't excited before because I was like, oh, it's classical.
Right.
It's Les Mis, but it's not because no one knows this show. Everyone's gonna go see it expecting Jack and Rose. It's just not gonna be a fun time. But now that we read through the Act 1 yesterday, and it's really good.
Oh, you
And
got
I
a
do
question.
think-
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
You got a question.
Oh, okay.
Which vocal part is the most difficult to teach and why?
Well, for me, since I am a female, teaching the guys is always a challenge, especially when they're young, because I can't model it for them. I can't actually
Yeah.
sing it in their range. So that's a challenge. I really enjoy working with sopranos because that's what I did all my life. And so I feel as though that's like where
You're most comfortable with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, and what works at NA right now is that coupling, we go from 9th and 10th grade choir here up to Nash. And then you have Mr. Schmick up there who can, help the guys out, get them through the rest of their voice change and stuff. So, yeah, it's a good working relationship that way.
Well, obviously, I know you know, but my mom's a music teacher. What's your favorite part about being able to teach such a creative class?
I think it's, for me, you can really see, hear the improvement in students. It's just always an assessment, so to speak, like every rehearsal you hear it getting better. And I feel like that's really gratifying when you're a teacher. And even as students, I would think that would give you a lot of pride about your work, that you can see from day one when you're just sight reading through something or learning something for the first time, and then after putting your work in, the final product is something really to be proud of. So, yeah.
I definitely feel that way with taking like journalism. Like you get, at least through this class, it's very rewarding. Once you finish everything, you get to see, like you get
How
to
far
see,
you-
you get to see how it progresses.
For sure.
Yeah. On the music end, I once had a teacher. She was like, pick a song that you cannot sing, and like a song that's in your range but you can't like belt it or anything. Take a recording of it, and I have a recording from over a year old of me belting "No Good Deed" from Wicked. Oh, it's so terrible. I hate it, but like I've taken so many more recordings as I've progressed, and it's like, wait, this is kind of good. We're still getting there,
Right.
To like those few notes.
You're
but
like
yeah.
easily, like through music, you're able to see
How
your
you progress.
improvement. You can
Yes.
see
I feel like-
development.
You can't always see your improvement until like you look back on it.
Well, that's why it's great that you recorded yourself. So, listen to year or two ago and then
Oh,
where you are now with it.
We got a question asking if you sing opera.
I do. I did.
You
That
did?
was sort of my major, yes, way back. So I did all the soubrette roles, which would be like the high coloratura. In operas, they're usually always the maids. Always the maid, kind of the younger female role.
Christine Dyer?
Do
do that?
Yeah, it could be something, yes. That would probably definitely be a role that, I would have done. But that was when I was, a lot younger than I am now. I pretty much retired my own performance and performing myself. And I'm just really committed to what I'm doing with teaching students now. But yeah, I love opera. Opera is great. And it has really come so far in the last 20 years or so. Just everything, they're very cool operas that they're writing now. So you gotta get to them and check them out.
I don't know. There's just something about this that just doesn't intrigue me.
No,
Really?
not at all. Yeah, go to something more contemporary, like the Ballad of Baby Doe or something that where you can really and operas that are in English, so you can really
Yeah,
understand.
you can
what's going on.
understand.
What's happening?
The subtitles get a little much after a while. So
Did
yeah.
you want to go into performance?
I did as a in my early 20s. I studied a lot in New York City. I would during the summers when I was taking breaks from college. My teachers that were in Pittsburgh had then moved to New York City, so I spent a lot of time there, and I got to work with their teachers and their coaches, and yeah, I really did. And I think it was, I'm so glad I have my education degree too, because as you kind of have to figure out what's really important for you in life. Like, I knew I had to have music going for me all the time because it was,
Yeah.
I couldn't
I can't
imagine
give it
my,
up.
right, yeah. So for me, this has really, I don't know, it's really been the life that I could see myself leaving. And I feel as though it was good that I had that opportunity when I was younger to do the performance aspects, kind of get that,
Yeah. Get better.
get that out of my system a little bit. So yeah, it's good. Great stuff.
good.
Here's my question.
Good. Oh, you're asking them.
Oh,
How does someone discover that they can sing opera well?
well, honestly, it's the studying. I mean, it takes years, really. It's
Yeah.
a lot of language and a lot of style. Even though it's classical, there's a lot that goes behind it as far as knowing your languages and being an actress. So I think it has to be a perfect combination of, developing your singing voice and also being the best actress that you can be. And you need to be able to move a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like the old version of musical theater, so to speak, and the classical version of musical theater. But a lot of those cross over, like, I don't know if you do things like Pirates of Penzance, which is a great show. It's another classical show, but it's really funny. And yeah.
We did get a question on Instagram. It was asking, how do you do your hair?
Oh gosh. My hair.
How she does her hair.
How do I do my hair? Well, this year I have been going from the natural curl that I have, but I do, as today I just blow it out with a hair dryer, and my daughter's a hairstylist, so yeah, so I get all my tips from her. So that's nice to have someone in your family that can help you with that. But yeah, so that's my hair stuff. Yes.
So does your daughter work at a salon, like?
She works at a Zazu salon.
Oh,
right,
that's fun.
Yeah, right there in Wexford, yeah. Fun job, she loves it, so it has worked well for her. Yeah.
So I know, like for me personally, I like singing, but I would never do it. I would recommend people do the course next year to get outside of it.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know, you feel safe in numbers. And it's not often that you have to sing alone in the choir. At least for me, even when we're doing quizzes and tests, they're usually maybe in a group of 5 or 6 kids. So if it's something you enjoy, you like singing, I mean, we cover a lot of different things. We teach the kids to sight read. We work a lot on technique. So, if you just want to become a better singer, it's a good place to start to work on your technique.
I know that we had some. You're good. I know that we've had carolers coming around to each of the classrooms.
yes.
Do you give them the songs, or do they get to pick which ones?
Well, one of the girls that have been going around, you'll hear a little arrangement. It's called our Jazzy Bell Carols, and that was a concert piece for us, and it's a cappella, so it works well. The other carols that the kids are singing, we worked on them last year, so we haven't really had time to do that this year, and it's something they wanted to do because they had such a great time caroling last year. So, yeah, so I don't know. Depends the group that you're hearing and what's going on there, but no, we've not rehearsed those. Most of those are unrehearsed. So.
I know the group that came into our English class was like Gannon, Coleman.
Oh my gosh.
Lorenzo.
They all ran in
Yeah,
and
I
ran
saw
out.
them come in here.
They were on the podcast.
They were really good.
They were done.
Oh, nice.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
They're a lively crew. Yeah.
They are lively.
They are. They're lively. Some good voices, great voices, and really great guys in the group. So it's awesome. I'm glad they stopped by.
Yeah. I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, you have to come into my classroom because I want to see it, because I didn't get it last year. And
Oh,
everyone said it
wow.
was so fun.
Last year I saw the sophomores. So They were like throwing lollipops.
Or were they? Oh,
Yeah.
well, you guys, it won't be long. You'll be heading up that way to the Ash too.
Yeah.
So
I can barely remember my way around here.
That's true.
I definitely am not gonna be able to survive in that.
yeah, that building it's a challenge to know what floor you're on, even when everything looks alike.
Do we have any more questions?
Anything else?
That's okay. Mr. Hall, do you have any questions?
No, I think she has to go eat her lunch.
Yeah, I have to go.
Go eat your
I'm
lunch.
gonna go eat my
Yeah.
salad.
Go do
Yeah,
that.
I'm glad I was able to be here. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yes, very fun. All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got it. Anytime.
Yeah.
Such a cool thing you're doing.
Hi, guys.
Chelsea, you're doing it.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I have to get a lunch soon.
Oh, what?
What happened?
What? I can't.
That was good.
I'm so.
I'm just
Yeah,
here to lunch, everybody.
Just another reminder.
There's only
Next
five.
time, like,
Maybe.
feel free to submit any questions.
As long as they're not
So,
Yeah, don't be stupid.
so period 7
Comment.
is
Gallo.
Gallo.
Period 8 is Hildy. Period 9 is Lamb and Winchell. And I
Lamb and
plan to
Winchell.
play a newlywed game.
Really?
Oh,
Wait,
I need to get out of
the
town.
shoe, the shoe where they stand by.
Marissa.
Can you actually?
I was gonna have it like.
We can make
Wait, I need
signs.
to find white. Yeah, we have to make signs
There's a
like
whiteboard
when.
right there.
Oh,
His wife brought in his son today.
Yeah,
I know, we saw Baby Lamb.
Wait, what's the kid's? What is Jack?
Mhm.
He's adorable.
Jack Jonathan
Jack
Lamb.
Jonathan Lamb.
Jack
I saw
Jonathan.
his-
So.
Any questions for us? We have 5 viewers. There's 5 of
Yay.
you.
And we love each and every one.
I think.
What?
Start publicizing the Lamb and Winchell thing.
Lamb and
I
Winchell.
think Mr.
I need to put
Winchell-
something on my story.
I'm
I will
pretty
too.
sure Mr. Winchell's gonna is gonna
Ready?
is gonna name his next kid Ashlyn because when I told him my name, he was like freaking out. Someone at Shake Shack in DC. was like, "Oh, I'm having a kid.
Mr.
I'm
Hull, you
looking
can just
for pretty
in the
names."
corner.
Pretty names.
I'm just trying to read the questions.
Oh my God.
Oh, Maya Sivakumar, one of my friends, said, "How are you guys so cool?" I don't know.
So does
How
any,
are we
do
doing?
any of
It's
you
just
have
kind
any,
of a lifestyle at this
practice.
point.
so do you think it would be best
It
if I
comes quite
gave them each
natural.
like a shoe? Would like make it like a who's more likely?
I think they
to?
should take off their shoes.
Or
No, this is a
That would
small
smell.
room.
Or
It's a
so
small
bad.
or
room in
do
here.
it
You
so
already
that
know
like
their feet.
I would ask Winchell like what is Mr. Lamb's favorite flank or something like that.
Oh.
And then if they get it
Oh.
right, it's like a point.
Yeah, like,
Oh my
would
God.
that be
That
better?
reminds me of like those YouTube videos.
Okay,
Okay.
we can come
Yeah,
early.
so there's like questions on.
Yeah, 'cause I'll be here period 8 and 9. So
I'm
if any of you see
I can
them,
make
it's
it.
called
I'm
a
coming
shoe.
eight. I can do it.
Marissa, I'm coming eighth, yeah.
Okay,
Marissa,
so
can I come down?
I have journal.
Who's next?
wait,
Dr.
so
Gallo?
Yeah,
who
I'm
else
sure.
is gonna
Dr.
talk
Gallo's
to them
next.
with me?
There's
I'll
still
talk
5
to
people
Hildy
watching.
with you. All 5.
I'll do Mara's coming to you.
Okay, I'll do it with you and Mara.
I can do that.
Hey guys, I have a question
Okay.
for anybody who's listening or you guys up here,
Yes.
which is, look,
I think
again, this is our first year doing this. Ultra perfectionists we are, that we want everything to be good. I think our programming has been good this year. You sort of have to just like wing it sometimes. You know, like if you scripted the entire thing, it'd be sort of boring. We're getting teachers to come in here during their prep period, so it's going to be a little bit chaotic and, you know, it's not
Yeah.
produced because
Yeah.
we're not putting it into like iMovie and making it look nice. It's just, the point of it is that it's supposed to be raw, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
It's supposed to be sort of just like stream of consciousness, student interaction all day long. And that's sort of the beauty of it.
Mhm.
I would like to see more people. I mean, we've had like 10 to 15 people all day watching some classrooms. So it's being broadcast
Yeah, they're just playing.
to their whole class. I'm just trying to think of ways in which we could further encourage listening and watching.
Maybe make it.
But I
let me
didn't know
see.
that.
Is it on the TVs?
Look at that filter.
Well, that's a good idea.
TVs.
So next year,
Oh.
the software
Send me a
that our TVs
Okay.
run on is like, it's not very good if I'm being honest with
Yeah.
you.
No.
And so when we upload like our PDFs and stuff, we have to place them in there one at a time.
Really?
So for us to run a live stream over the TVs, Like we need somebody with like a lot of computer expertise, and I don't even know if that's possible.
I'm gonna can we live stream period 9?
Can we actually
But on
on
I-
and stuff?
But no, I have to use my phone though. So
For Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe that's easier. For
Did you watch the interviews while you were gone, or did you have to go to class?
Wait, should I say?
Oh, I thought you went to class.
No, I went to the bathroom.
And then say the NAI YouTube.
You can put the link. Take out, or you can say link in NAI bio.
Is it actually?
Yeah, that's where I think most people. It's easiest to find it there. But once
the
you're on
Instagram
there, you have to go to the app in order to see the comments.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mrs. DeGarmo might be our number one fan,
She definitely is.
and for that, I think.
Who's the-
Listen, it's not about.
That's so sweet.
Mr. Coleman's also a fan.
Yes.
It's not about us. It's not about me, but like it's really cool to see people like supporting stuff. You know,
I think a lot of the teachers are like.
very cool. I know Dr. Morrow's watching it out there.
Really, I love Dr.
Can we give a shout out to Dr. Morrow? Does she hear us or does she have it muted?
That's my kind of teacher.
She probably has it muted because she's grading papers. Oh, there she is. There's a little bit of a lag, which is why.
She's commenting.
I love your class. I miss it so much.
Miss what? Dr. Morrow's class?
Yeah, I have her right now.
I love her. She's giving her hands.
Can I tell a quick little story about Dr. Morrow?
Yes, come to the mic.
Yeah, when we had a bomb threat last year or the year before.
My sister's
Year before, 2 years ago.
Yeah, Dr. Morrow and I had to traverse around NAI and like escort kids up to Carson.
Yeah.
And she is a great person to have in a crisis-like situation, and I am not.
I can
She's saying something.
I am complete panic.
We know.
Yes.
Yes,
That is
she
adorable.
she was complete charisma and being put together.
Yeah.
And I think Dr. Morrow has little kids too.
She does.
She does.
She does.
They're
She's
twins.
the daughter.
They're adorable.
The twins.
Hazel and Adeline.
Thank you.
Hazel and
I want to
Adeline?
get a
Yeah,
photo
something
of
like that.
Adeline.
Not Ashlyn, but Adeline. Yeah.
And
Can I get a photo of you guys for
What everybody is really heavily anticipating Hildy. What period's he coming again?
Eight. That's
Chelsea.
eight.
Just Hildy. That's it.
Yeah. You want someone else?
Well, we
still want to call it that old weird.
LICA.
I remember that. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Wait, is McClellan
Chris
Wait, why are we
said, Hildy,
I
have
know that
mercy on
Lamb
us.
and Winchell are
On this
coming. I don't know
holy
if
day,
McClellan's
please
coming
Okay,
too.
bless us.
so pretty much, so it's gonna be me. Okay, I don't know, like, because
Can I
Hildy
join
doesn't want
Hildy?
to talk about Hug.
That's
I'm
fine.
coming.
We're not really doing that anyway.
Right.
I told
So-
Chelsea that I do Hildy with her.
Because Mara
Well, it's
and I
just-
have Hildy, so we thought it'd be funny.
I mean, I think we're gonna get a lot of reader questions for that one too.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
Who's going on?
Mr. Hope, can I go on
I can swap on. Can we swap it?
If there's room, yeah. I mean, when I did it, people just sort of stood around, you know.
Yeah, if you guys ever need to just. And then period 9, I'll start out with Winchell and Lamb.
She's
and then
doing like the newlywed game.
do like
I'm
the-
very
Okay,
excited.
that's a good idea.
Could I actually, can I go on for that? Or one of them? I don't care.
I'm not in charge of those kids.
Is anyone allergic to peanut butter?
Wait, oh, Caitlin, can I go?
Allergic to peanut butter?
Yes.
Or can we switch out?
I'm going to indulge
I
myself.
honestly,
You're going to
like,
indulge.
I don't have because right now I was talking because like
You
I
guys
had
can send.
I can switch because I have because like I went and I like
Yeah,
talked.
this
to
is
them,
the mic that
which is why they know I'm gonna be here.
You can
I
see if we can switch out?
Can I just either switch out or can I just like stand around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we
Like,
can also stand.
It's really laid back.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be all good.
Well, this is for the.
I'm sitting in this
I'm
chair.
sitting here.
Okay,
Can we mute it right now?
Can we mute it?
Dr. Morrow's coming too
Can we
for
mute
the
it?
science one. We can mute it, but why would you?
Wait, isn't Doctor? Wait, what?
Dr. Gallo and Dr.
Gallo and Morrow.
Yeah, Gallo and Mark. That'd be
What
nice.
period is that?
Yeah.
Next.
That is-
Next.
Do you want me to type it in for you?
I have to take physics test.
You have no idea how hard it
Thank you
was
so
to
much.
track
Have a great
down.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It was hard to like plan it.
Plan what?
Mitchell and Lim. It was. I've done a lot of running
Hey,
today.
guys, let me ask you something different.
What?
Hey,
Are you eating peanut butter?
I'm gonna make a sandwich.
Oh, okay.
Are you actually?
Planning this next time, other than the audio issues we had, would you do anything different, or would?
Start planning earlier.
I think.
We need more questions.
Well, I
Maybe
just
plan.
said though, I think part of the beauty of doing something like this is the inherent rawness of it.
Yeah, we spent like 20 minutes talking about Mr. Rex's shoes.
Yeah.
But that is Mr. Rec.
Yeah.
You have to understand.
Like
Jared has more shoes.
over 75.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Jared has more shoes than I have.
No, you don't even know. My family, my
Like
dad
coffee
has
cups a
shoe
day.
swap. Like,
Really?
It's just devoted
Of
to
sneakers,
shoes.
like
Oh, yeah.
Jordans.
Oh, yeah. Jordans.
Some girls
Why are you raising your
Are
hand?
you just eating peanut butter?
No, I'm
I
making
like-
a sandwich.
I like
So good.
I like the
spontaneity,
spontaneous,
yeah.
spontaneity of it, but I also feel like it needs a little more order.
Spontaneity? I
No,
like
I-
that word.
Yeah,
I do.
I think-
But I like the spontaneity.
I
of,
like
sometimes,
spontaneity.
like I've had to run around finding teachers
Yeah.
all day. I mean, it might
You know
just
what,
be
though?
me.
I would say this is in addition to being a good day of code or whatever
Mm-hmm.
they're doing out there. I would say this is good real life training. Seriously.
For me,
No. Like when you eventually go get a
Oh.
job somewhere,
yes.
most of it is running around, not
I
really
just
knowing
got
what you're doing and trying to figure it out.
Yes, she's working with me.
You know what I'm
just-
saying?
Actually,
Yes.
different store.
It's just like trying to
No,
figure
it
it
was
all out.
fun because I didn't go to any of my
I think
classes.
the one thing.
I'm sorry to any of my
A
teachers
few
who
of the
just
teachers
heard
were
that.
like, "Can you send me the questions in advance?" And I was like,
Well, that's because teachers are so used to
But no, we
being
want to
planned.
plan like unplanned.
You know what I'm saying?
Like we
That's
need a
why
bit
I
of
took
a job interview.
mess.
I found that like I was trying to come up with questions they were gonna ask me to try and prepare, and then I went in and there were nothing.
It's just got to be in your soul
Yeah.
somewhere. Like I
I
go,
gotta have
watch
Did you
my
send
kids
them
every
any?
a lunch
time.
thing.
Don't send them any. Like,
Yeah,
one
I mean,
gets
I
to
always
me.
send Magestra some, but
Wait,
she's.
Is she coming?
We're
We're good now. We had a little audio problem.
But she was just like,
And then we
you
also
know, I'm
need
a
to like
planner.
But
And I
did you
just
make a pretty thing
to-
for me?
I'll type.
Even more reason not to give people the questions.
Yeah.
Here, wait. Let me.
You know?
I
Wait,
just
wait,
need
log
login.
in.
I don't need to type something.
It's
I feel the same way. I'm saving.
Do you have any more forks?
No,
You can use mine.
I have spoons.
You can use my fork from over there.
You guys want spoons?
Does anyone want to?
Like, look at Eric Bloomquist. Kid just got up and played the saxophone.
That was
without any
amazing.
preparation.
Did he actually?
When?
Yeah, it's on the story.
There was
Are you serious?
I put it on the story. Everyone. You're welcome.
Guys that came in and started singing.
The caroling
Uh-huh.
people.
Well-
Into my math class.
No,
I
he he just like came in and we
Where's Mr.
interviewed
Gill?
him and we didn't have any
You want me to
questions.
be on the NAI or your?
Guys,
Like,
you
it's
want
the
to-
after section.
You kidding
Chelsea.
me? I
Yes.
missed that.
Marissa, do you want to go ask Mrs. Ewing if she wants to come talk for a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yes.
She's in the extra room there.
Do you think the stories for the
Mr.
NAI have
Hall.
been good so
Chelsea,
far?
what's
You're
your
doing a
last
great
name?
job.
Okay.
Boyer.
My name?
Here, I'll
Chelsea
save it.
Boyer.
Mr. Hall, is the bottom of
Let Marissa see it until Marissa
What?
comes
the
back.
bottom of that sandwich a graham cracker?
The bottom of the
Oh,
sandwich is the
right.
end of the loaf.
I just invited myself.
Who eats the end of the loaf?
I love the end of the loaf. I'm a crust guy.
Mia.
What do you guys?
Can you do me a favorite?
The end of the
Hey guys,
loaf.
Mrs. Ewing's gonna come.
What?
Mrs. Ewing's gonna come sit down.
I'll get up soon.
That's the butt. I love that. That's so funny.
The butt of the bread.
Mr. Hall,
I know.
it's over there.
Anna,
Yes.
can Mrs. Ewing sit there?
No, that one.
Mrs.
is-
Sheen here.
She can-
Good
I have
comment.
a password.
Isn't it this, Marissa?
That.
For which
Where
class?
was it? I was
right here.
Which teacher?
Haller.
Was she fair?
I can ask. Do you guys want to see the beauty that I got today?
Wait, does anyone want
Yeah,
to
say something in the mic.
I haven't got any
questions
questions.
for
I
Mr.
think we're just watching these.
Not
No, I'm talking.
Look how cute they are.
me. She bought this for you.
Wait, what is this? I'm so sorry. Here, wait.
Wait.
Oh.
Does anyone want to come up with trivia questions?
I got it.
Historical trivia?
For what?
I'm gonna eat for Lamb and Mitchell.
Yeah, well, just like
Oh.
find someone who
Wait,
has.
here, I want to
Yeah.
am turn up.
Yeah.
Here,
Find someone who has.
Okay, ASMR time.
Yes,
We're going to have a
Okay.
study guide.
She's coming. Get ready.
Do not chew in that mic. I will chew.
Okay, stop, please.
Guys, everyone disperse.
Try to one. Yeah. Wait, is it almost?
Did you read my thing?
12:03.
My contribution.
Are you laptop? We actually don't have a study.
What?
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm
the
leaving in
game
like 5
It's still
minutes.
uploading. It's a USB going. It's still uploading.
Whenever gonna go.
Yeah,
I come back.
you need to log in.
Okay. Another one of your try them NAIs. One dead red one. Mr. Hall, can you log in?
Can you log in?
You know they can hear.
Ashlyn. She turned off our mic.
They can't hear.
I know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
It's not even music.
Huh? You guys should start an ASMR sector of NAI news. The biggest trend. I'll start it.
You ever seen? No.
Where's Ashlyn?
Oh, it's Marissa back.
Okay, try that. I'm gonna walk back to band. It's bye, Anna.
It's nice meeting you.
Mrs. Ewing came in. She's so sweet. She's coming by.
Okay.
I love her necklace. It has lights.
I'm
on
only
it.
here for
She's
5 years.
adorable and cute.
Questions for Mrs.
Someone can
Ewing.
just
Someone
take my
asked
place.
Oh, Mrs. Yu, I love her.
Mr. Hall, Miss Senora DeGarmo said the butt of the bread is the best part.
Thank you.
Do you actually like the butt?
I'm a crust guy.
Did we call it the butt? Is
I
that like
don't
a thing? Is that what we're-
I call it the butt of the
In
bread.
my house, we call it the butt of the bread.
It's the butt of the
And
bread.
Really?
No one touches it.
How
We
many
just
years
go
did you-
straight
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
love the
yeah.
bell ring.
I do like that terminology.
The butt.
The bell rings in 6 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
12:03.
It's like a math.
And then we've got
Mrs. Jones is watching.
two science teachers, Gallo and Mara.
Yeah.
The doctors.
So start thinking about
I'm
those
not here
two.
that period.
No,
I'm not
no,
sure.
no, you're all very young.
Who is doing
This is
that?
my lunch.
Unless you need me, but I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people.
I need to find something to write
I
around.
can't
I
get
have
paper.
Okay.
Have it once.
Just
Well,
do a
it's
video.
okay with Holler.
Just take a
Yeah,
video.
I just, it's probably gonna be easier instead of running back and forth just to have it.
So
and
what's,
be like-
what are we gonna do for Lana Mitch? Which you guys are
We're
doing
just
the
watching
new
the
game.
I'm gonna do like the
Do you wanna
like
sit
what
together?
like
Yeah,
the
Caitlin and I wanna do some like
Either.
historical trivia, and then we can have
I have an
another
index card.
group of 2 people
Alright.
do like actual.
I'm gonna do
Okay,
it.
here's, I have a pen.
Oh,
Thank
wait.
you.
yeah.
Can I
Are
do
you
like
going
actual
to-
questions at the, like, we'll do
I have
like,
lunch, but I have
Yeah.
to take my science stuff.
I think we should play it by
I'm saying
ear.
bye.
Like obviously it's gonna be like
Yeah.
we all get to ear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm chill.
eagle.
Yeah.
You, me, and Mara with Hildy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna head out. I'll be back 8th period with Hildy if everyone's worried.
Thank you.
So
Mr.
if
Hall,
you
I
have
love
questions for Hildy,
It's been
feel
fun.
free to DM me or the NAI.
Yes.
comment.
DM NAI.
Because
I'll
I'm
be
sure
back.
there's a lot of kids who
I
want to
have
bake him
classes
for extra credit. So
Yes.
Ask Hildy
Yeah.
bunches of questions.
and good. I pray for anyone who turned in their term paper.
Yes, best of luck. I'm sure you all did great.
Bye.
All right. See you in 8th. Bye, Mr. Hall. Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
I'll be back 8th period.
Yes.
Hi, what's going on in the podcast room?
We're waiting for the science people
Oh my
to come
gosh, I
down.
just shocked my lip.
In which year?
I just went to Ponte Airwind. Now we're waiting for Dr. Gallo and Dr. Morrow. Come talk a little photosynthesis.
Oh, nice.
You can sit down for a little bit over here if you want.
Sure.
So, do you want to answer more questions?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Officer Mesker is sort of like
Can I switch seats with you? Yeah.
our buffer.
When was my legs? Okay, well, what did we talk about? We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Officer Mesker's, has he gone over his educational background that got him here yet?
A little bit, but we can go in more in depth. We talked
Like
about.
what do you do to become a law enforcement I mean, a lot of people are military, right?
You get extra points if you're in the military when you take police test. So you get like extra credit. So I got 10 extra credit points
Because you are military.
because I was in the military.
What branch?
Navy. We already went over this.
Oh, sorry.
Virginia Station,
I didn't hear that.
Virginia Beach in Canada.
Yes.
That's so cool.
So when I went through, it was about a 6-month police academy. Now they upped it to 8 months. So it's an 8 month, 40-hour week training.
So someone.
I mean, they go over everything from,
Do you think we can translate that?
laws, first responder stuff, driving, what's that thing?
It's sort of supplementary.
Driving, shooting, physical agility, stuff like that.
Do you know if anyone has any of those like egg?
I don't know what that says.
Yeah, it's in Arabic.
Use something like that.
And so we are working to translate it. We are not, we don't know, I don't recognize the name, so I'm not sure if it's a student or not. So it is in Arabic.
Can we like copy and paste it into Google Translate?
Yeah, or maybe you can like take a picture of it and,
So what are you guys doing over the break?
I'm just hanging out at my house.
same.
No travel?
No. What about you?
I helped coach my son's basketball team, 5th grade.
What?
Um,
grade.
Yes, very good grade. And then I have to work some overtime.
I became Hildy the soldier.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm working some overtime. I'm doing the NA basketball game on Monday up at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm working some movie at the Cinemark.
Oh, no, you're fine.
No.
No,
So-
no.
I'm working, so Cinemark movie theaters, they hire us for the Star Wars release. So Disney pays the Cinemark theater for security. So it's basically unlimited security. So we work from 9 a.m. till 3 in the morning. There's an officer there all through the break.
That's cool. I never knew that. That they did it through Disney.
Yeah, Disney, well, Cinemark, they incorporated security once the Aurora, Colorado
Yeah.
shooting happened. So they, nationwide, they hire police on the weekends or premieres for
Crazy.
movies. And that's their policy.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people like, in the times we live in, the security is always good to see an officer there, a police car in front.
Yeah.
But Disney, when they came out with the Star Wars, even the past, the other two that were released, Disney said we'll pay for any security, added security. So it's basically a blank check for.
That's not bad.
No, and it pays for all my gifts for my kids. Really, so.
Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
So I know you talked about being stationed in other places around the country. My grandfather was stationed in Germany, and I know that he had to go through a bunch of like training and stuff to be in the army. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the Navy?
So I did. So I was when I went to boot camp. It was in Chicago, Illinois, and it was an 8-week basic training course where they teach you, the history of the Navy, the military, various protocols, procedures, obviously physical agility, and just typical military standard things. How to make your bed. Just little
Yeah.
things that, you'd be surprised that some people didn't know. How to shave properly, so on and so forth, hygiene. And after that, you graduated, and you went to your schooling. In my area that I went to schooling was tracking submarines. So there's a network that the military has that tracks submarines on the West Coast, East Coast, and that's what I was a part of.
So cool.
It sounds cool, but
Was it not?
so about halfway through my enlistment, about 2.5 years, I decided, when I wanted to be in law enforcement, I started
Yeah.
changing over to military police.
Okay.
Because tracking submarines doesn't really equate to anything in the outside world, so
Yeah.
I kind of realized that early, so I figured I would change over. So that was basically the first stepping stone when I figured out what I wanted to do.
Interesting. Yeah. So I don't know. I personally don't know much about the military, but so how do they? Is there a way that they decide where you will be stationed? Is it by just where they need people, or is it by your skills?
So when you finish your schooling, you have, I think, a top 3 list. They ask you where you want to go.
Oh, so okay.
So you have a little bit of an input because there's always, if they're putting people through school, there always are available spots out wherever you need to go. So we were all shore based, so I was never on the ship.
Okay.
So there was very nice exotic places that we could go. Hawaii, Guam, Bermuda. I think we were over in England also. Iceland was another place where we could be stationed.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. But at that time I was still young, and I didn't want to go to Hawaii because it's so far away from home. Everybody gets homesick. So I kind of stayed within somewhat of an area where I could still reach out and go home.
Wow, that's cool.
And the good thing about, one of the other reasons I joined is I got the GI Bill. So I got about, let's say, $50,000 to go to school after I got out. So I started going for law enforcement to a technical college. And I got hired by the city of Pittsburgh before I finished. So I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and I got transplanted to Pittsburgh because I got hired by the city of Pittsburgh as a police officer. So that was my first.
Where did you grow up?
In Toledo, Ohio. Right outside of Toledo in the suburb.
Okay.
Kind of similar to this.
Yeah.
Once I moved, to Pittsburgh, I kind of made this my own.
How did you decide that you wanted to start working with us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess it started, when I started with the city, I was stationed in the Hill District, which was a very, at the time, in the early to mid-90s, it was a very violent area. Gang wars, Crips and the Bloods, they were feuding between each other. And a lot of youth were caught up in that. And primarily, a lot of our interactions with different crimes were juveniles. So I got a taste of dealing with juveniles in the criminal justice system at an early age. And it kind of, I'd say, made me, it's easier to work with juveniles than with adults. If you're dealing with somebody that's an adult, they basically have their mind made up on what they're doing and where their life is going. Being a juvenile, you have that chance to put them on the right path and change some of their mentalities about different things and, give them hope. Because a lot of areas, in the Hill District were distressed at the time.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of hopelessness sometimes in those areas, and if you can give them a chance and a little bit of hope that people care about you, it goes a long way.
Yeah. I think that's a really important message that should be shared more often. And it's cool that you want to.
And it doesn't, people think, the Hill District and somewhere like Wexford is on the different spectrums, but drugs, they're in every community. It doesn't matter economic, your race, anything. It hits everywhere in the community.
Yeah.
And it's so, the opiate issue is just so destructive. It doesn't matter who you are. If you get caught up in the opiate addiction, it's very hard to get out of. We're dealing with, I work with the Attorney General's Drug Task Force, and after I get out of school, sometimes we work drug cases, and I'm still subjected to that. And it blows people's mind when you try to get somebody off opiates, and they look so good for months and months and maybe even a year, and it just takes one trigger and you're right back to where they started.
Yeah.
And that's what's a shame, with this epidemic. And kids don't realize sometimes when they get into that what the end result will be. It's an addiction they have to fight for the rest of their lives.
Right. So I know that there's kind of this mindset or connotation that all police officers are like really, I guess, quote unquote, brutal and like aren't friendly people.
Right.
But I know that people, especially high schoolers, have that mindset. So would you say that that's most of the time true, or are you guys?
Well, I hope that they don't have that mindset. And how I guess project in every aspect of life, any business, anywhere, you're going to have some kind of bad apple. Whether it's in the financial industry, you're going to have somebody that's stealing money. If you're in some kind of sporting event or something, you're going to have somebody that's cheating. There's always, wherever you go, you're going to have that small percentage of people that don't do the right thing. Same with police officers. Are there some police officers that maybe do some questionable things? Absolutely. Have I seen it? Absolutely. If anybody asks me, I'm very, brutally honest that it's there. But it takes, I always call it the roller coaster. A bad incident happens with police officers and the police officer does something wrong. So the community and, the world sees police as, oh, they're all like that. Police are dirty, police do bad things, they lie and they do all this thing. And that's when we're on the bottom of the roller coaster. When police do something good, heroic, courage, save lives, go in a burning building, stop, something bad from happening, then we're the hero and we go up and everybody praises us and everything. But you're always in a roller coaster. There's always, some bad apples out there. But I always tell other, new police officers, you can always control your environment, what you do. You always have a spotlight on you, whether you're on duty or off duty, and you have to live up to the expectations of what society has entrusted.
So the students at NIH should be comfortable in coming up to you and talking about problems.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one thing that I've 26 years. I can say that nobody that I've even arrested would ever talk negative of me. If you get in trouble, you got in trouble and you did something wrong. I have plain, clear-cut evidence, whether it's videos, other evidence that you did this, and there's no dispute. I treat you respectfully. I always treat you like I want to be treated, even though you did a heinous crime. I've seen a lot of them. They're still human beings. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just a degree, but I still, I used to deal with gang members, and even if they, shot somebody or did something very brutal, I still treated them like a human being. And that's how I operate.
I think that's a great way to live.
Yeah, it is. And I mean,
Cheers,
everybody,
cake.
just not my job.
It's vegan.
So we have the science people here.
Yeah.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis rocks.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it
Thanks
over.
for coming
All right,
back again.
no problem.
Feel free to stop by.
I might.
So we had some lovely vegan cake. Like
Lovely vegan cake.
I made it. I will not put it.
Well, if you made it cake.
It's delicious.
I'll have to track you
It's so
again.
it smells
We're
really
done.
I
good.
don't want to go home with it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's a lot of cake.
You guys can take a
It's been
seat.
lasting for the
Anywhere?
day. I made some for Mr. Love because he said if I baked anything, you guys can see them.
Okay.
Mr. Love said that if I made him anything vegan, he would try it. So I baked him cake.
And then Mrs. Lynch also joined when
Yes,
when
ate
Mr.
cake.
Love was here, and I believe she's also vegan.
I'll have to
I
have it
did not know
after
that.
because I don't like chocolate to be in my teeth.
I'll be back. This is our
How's it going today?
It's going good. How's the day of code going?
It's going really well. Yeah, I think a lot of people are having a lot of fun out there.
I highly recommend the Osmos.
I have one in my back. Wait, what are the offers?
The Taylorings.
I have another Osmo thing in my backpack, just like the camera and stabilizer.
So what inspired you guys to start this day? Or like get students involved with it? To just like the thought or like I don't know.
Oh, I think Mrs. Oliver and Mrs. Cotton before Mrs. Oliver, who are our tech coaches or tech leaders, have had this idea of providing things that science students or STEM students could do for the whole day to sort of experience different kinds of technology-related careers and things that we don't necessarily do in class, like coding.
Yeah, something outside the content that's a little maybe applicable to things they could do in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
What inspired both of you to become teachers?
Well, okay, so I'll start. I was a physical therapist first, so I've always been interested in science. And after I worked a little while, I decided that I liked I wanted to be back in the content and back in the classroom. So I got a teaching certificate and love it. It's great. I love it here.
And I, while I was working on my PhD, had an opportunity to have a fellowship where I was the scientist in the classroom for one of the Pittsburgh public high schools. And so I, 2 days a week, spent time in there working on curriculum and sort of bringing more hands-on things into their class with their science teacher that they already had. And I really fell in love with working with kids. And so even though I taught a little bit at the college level, and I did a short postdoc after I finished my degree, I decided that I wanted to work with kids and really be able to bring activities and hands-on things to kids. I really liked working with them.
What would you guys say to someone who doesn't like science?
That's fine. That's great. That's you do you.
Yeah. I think it's good to figure it out now. It's nice to be able to try it and see what it's about, and then it's not really what I like, and I can still put forth my best effort, but I can do something else.
If you guys weren't teaching and you weren't doing anything science related, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, not science related.
Not science at all.
Oh man.
Not like, not like some sort of lab work, or maybe like working in the field, or nothing science related.
See, she's trying to trick us because we both had careers
Yeah,
before this career that we could have said if it wasn't teaching.
So not doing that either. Let's see. Well, I just said last night that I thought product design would be cool, like
Yes, you did.
like designing packaging for products, because I just got a product that was amazingly packaged.
I love things that are packaged, like
Yeah.
nice aesthetic packaging.
It was really awesome.
Dr. Morrow sort of bought herself a Christmas gift of a
Yeah.
vacuum,
Yeah.
Oh.
and
Like
she
that.
was really excited about it. I mean, I have
Adulting.
pictures of the vacuum
Yeah.
that she texted me.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, it was really exciting.
I was really excited about it, but I'd probably do something like that.
I think it sounds fun. I would probably have done something engineering, maybe. Something related to that, I think. I like that kind of idea of solving a problem. And I think that's what drew me to science in the first place.
So kind of on the opposite side of not liking science, I know in NA there's a lot of people aspiring to be like bio teachers or like biomedical engineering, chemistry, and all that kind of stuff. What advice would you give people that are looking for jobs in science?
What advice do I give people who are looking for jobs in science? Get yourself as many experiences as you can right now. Make sure that you try out the different electives that we have here. They're free, right? Then you get to Nash. And just sort of be exposed to as much as you possibly can. I know, Dr. Morrow, you are sort of the leader of HOSA. And so that's something else that those kids could definitely get involved in to sort of experience some of that here while it's free and you're not paying for college.
Yeah, I agree. I think that experiencing the electives, even if you don't think, maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if physics is for me. I think it's still good to at least try it to make sure, because I don't think you know until you actually try. HOSA is for students that are interested in health professions, and so we bring in some speakers and have some opportunities like that. So I think getting involved, whether it's in science or out of science, just to kind of figure out, what do I really like? Like that's what high school's about, right? Have some fun, learn some things, but figure out kind of what you like before you go to college and spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So what was science to you guys in like high school? Or like what was your high school like?
We had lots of lectures, some labs,
We did, yes.
but I really did fall in like it. So I teach biology and some chemistry, and I really did fall in love with science during my 9th grade science class.
I did
because
as well.
My teacher was just really dynamic, even though, we did do a bunch of hands-on stuff too, but he was really dynamic, so.
Agreed. I fell in love with science, I think, in 9th grade, taking biology in 9th grade. And like you said, we did a lot more, I think, lecture than we tend to do in class now. But we both really liked it from high school on.
So we're both in bio right now, actually, and a lot of people have that mindset of like, oh, bio is just, it's really boring and all, it's no packets and all that kind of stuff.
Wait, Mia, are you a freshman?
No,
Okay.
I took chemistry last
Okay.
year.
I wasn't wrong.
But going off that mindset, do you think that if people looked at it a different way than just no packets and labs, would it be more enjoyable?
I think that what we try to do and that we can do more of is make it applicable and have students see like, hey, this is why it's awesome. But this is why it matters. Biology is why you're alive. So, at least, if nothing else, maybe you can take away that.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of cross-curricular things that we definitely bring into biology. We were just talking to a student this morning who wrote a paper for his social studies class about plastics. And that's something that Dr. Morrow and I definitely focus on a lot at the end of the year, is the idea of how are humans impacting the world. And plastics are one of those things. And so I think that we find a lot of ways in biology to relate that, not only to people, right, but to everything else that's going on in the world that kids might be actually interested in more than biology.
I will be extremely vocal now.
Sounds great.
What do you
Sounds
think about it?
I think that like plastics are bad, like I know. But it's reusable. My mom didn't let me use the glass one. Like I asked.
Well,
She's like-
because school.
She's like, you're gonna
I
break
had
it.
one and I dropped it.
But I don't know, I'm very environmental. I love marine biology. Like you go back to like 3-year-old me watches Flipper for the first time, and that's where it started. But I've loved like dolphins, specifically like cetaceans, which are whales and stuff. And I've always loved those. And then the plastic problem I started noticing a few years ago got really bad. So recently, like my mom bought reusable straws like over a year ago. We've been cutting down a lot of our plastic use. One of the things is we go camping. We have a trailer up on the Allegheny and we have a boat, so we'll go up every weekend. And we used to use plastic bottles, but this year we decided to take one of those giant, like 5-gallon Gatorade containers, and we bring up reusable water bottles and we do that instead of using plastic water bottles and just like stuff like that. And I've switched to using A, because I love the store, and B, because of the plastic, is I've switched to starting to use shampoo bars instead of like containers, which I've gotten from Lush, and they're amazing. And the thing that I use to wash my face is a bar soap, and it comes in a brown paper bag. So stuff like that.
That's cool that you're trying to make a difference, and I think that's really awesome. But you should talk to Mrs. Gatesman. She also loves marine life, and she teaches bio. Do you have Mrs. Gatesman?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Mm.
No, but you should
We'll
talk
send
to
you
Mrs.
across the
Gatesman.
She would love to talk to you all about
Yeah.
marine life and plastic in the ocean. and things
And
like that. Yeah, definitely.
So if there's one thing that you really want to emphasize to your students, what would that be?
Advocate for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. If you have something wrong, if something's bothering you, about school, about class, about life, about whatever, if you're not ready for something, whatever the case may be, say something, speak up. We aren't terrible,
Yeah, I mean,
awful.
we try to be approachable, but I really think that that's a skill that will help you later in life.
Yeah,
I think that you need to learn to advocate for what you need, and why not do it here? While people are very approachable, and you're not earning money, for a job, you're just. So I think that that's my biggest thing.
After all, I bet a lot of the people that you guys spoke with today said that they went into this because they liked working with kids.
Yeah.
So definitely this is the safe place to approach people and say things like that.
Yeah.
We all like you.
Why in bio do we always focus on like the cell and not like multicellular organisms and stuff like that?
Right now we're at sort of that cellular level
Yeah,
and that
I
insides of the cells.
looked through the handbook, and it's like the last chapter is multicellular organisms.
Yeah, I mean, we get into it a little bit with genetics and the idea of phenotypes in large scale situations. And that's what we're driving at. The course is a molecular biology sort of approach to biology. If you decided you liked it a whole lot, there's electives at Nash that are involved more with the big scale things. So there's anatomy and physiology, there's AP bio. They do a whole lot more of like plant structure and anatomy as well that we don't get to, and sort of that comparative anatomy kind of idea as well.
Yeah, and bio and AI is really an intro course where you have to kind of learn the basics. So
Yeah.
if you don't know what the cell is and the parts of it and how it functions, then you can't really apply it well whenever you get to multicellular stuff.
I feel like this was kind of this bio is more like 7th grade, just more in depth.
Yeah, and 7th grade was supposed to be sort of an introduction to all of the biology stuff. It was supposed to have some of those human body systems and some of those other
I was
Anat-
proud of that.
anatomy kinds of things and that large scale sort of effect as well. Well, then you dissect in 7th grade.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, there's your whole organism, right?
Exactly.
Smell of the frogs, I still remember that someday.
Oh, you'll
I'll
never
just
forget.
like smell it and think that's
No.
smell of dissected frog. But like back to like the plastics and stuff, one of the things that I really want to do is like do marine documentaries, because this whole thing was like my thing, this podcast thing is my thing that I've been working on. But I also make a bunch of videos for journalism, and that's how I do my videos. But I love biology, and I just want to just like I don't want to like dissect an animal. I would want to work with animals, but the one place that I wanted to work was the Clearwater Marine Aquarium in Clearwater, Florida, which is where Winch the Dolphin is. And as I was like reading about it, I learned that their management system isn't the greatest. Like they blame everything on the employees. So I was like, that's
Yeah, maybe not.
yeah, maybe not. And then there aren't a lot of places like that. Like there are marine hospitals, but not like Clearwater. Like it was completely different because it is an aquarium, but all the residents, none of them were bred in captivity. All of them are rescued that can't be re-released. So that kind of aspect of just like advocacy, I wanted to do. And so I figured just doing like documentaries and stuff, I can still like see the animals.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
And travel.
And you're in landlocked Pittsburgh.
Perfect place for marine activities.
Look for the trout.
So, what are those steps that you have to take to become somebody that is involved in science as a job? Because I know me personally, I would like to become a biomedical engineer. So, and I'm sure I have a lot of respect for anybody in the science field because I know it's really hard to do. But just for you guys personally, what were those steps that you had to take to in science?
Well, I went to an undergrad, I have an undergrad degree in biology. And while I was there, I had started doing research in a lab. That's also where Dr. Morrow's idea of advocating for yourself kind of comes back into play. Very competitive, right, to be able to do research in a lab in college. And so it was one of those things that I wasn't always probably the best at speaking up for myself. But it was a time that I sort of did go out on a limb and approached a professor and said, hey, I'm really interested in what you're doing. I'd really like to do research with you. And he said, well, you have to sit and listen to everything we do without participating at all for an entire semester and prove that you actually are interested. And that's where that started, and I sort of fell in love with doing research there and decided to apply to grad school because college came to an end and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that I'd love doing research. And so I went to grad school to do research more. And that's where I sort of pursued the fellowship of being involved with undergraduate students and high school kids and really fell in love with doing that. So the path was sort of undergrad, and then I really feel like being able to advocate for myself and saying that I was really interested in research helped me get that sort of leg up that I needed in order to get into grad school. Dr. Brown?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
What were those steps that you had to take?
So since we both have varied paths that we came here by, I mean, I did undergrad in science and knew that I was going to go into PT school, physical therapy school. So I had done, volunteering, kind of being exposed to the field, and then had applied to grad school after that. So during that time, did a lot of stuff with the professors, worked as a teaching assistant for a while, was in the clinic and all of those things. But after that, I mean, again, after I worked in the field for a while, I just was missing some of the science stuff. I had always liked working with kids and kind of teaching. And so I guess I just went back that way. I don't really have any other steps. I think both of our paths are a little bit different in terms of maybe a traditional path to teaching.
Yeah.
This is not at all biology related.
Okay.
But I saw your sweater and I was like, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. And funny enough, we both have cats.
Okay. Just fun, random question. You could travel or live anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Alaska.
Why?
Really? Yeah.
Why?
I took a field course there when I was in college, and I just fell in love with the idea of less connection to things and more nature kinds of things, like with your idea of camping and just more relying on stuff without traffic and highways and all of that sort of thing. So if I didn't have family obligations, a job, and all that sort of thing, I would go to Alaska. I would move there.
Where in Alaska?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I haven't
Like
thought it out.
southern Alaska, northern
Oh,
Alaska?
I don't know.
Just
Juneau, maybe. Near Juneau, offskirts of Juneau.
Okay, so that's like southern.
Yeah.
I would like to go to either Monterey Bay, California, or I know, or Denver, because I like to ski.
My mom next year, there's a possibility she might be going out for a business trip to San Diego. So I'm trying to convince her to let me go with her because she knows I can look at colleges there because
You
her trip is
absolutely
paid
should.
for.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to convince, she said I might be able to get it. But the one thing I'm going to try and convince her to go is Monterey. You know, that's Northern California.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you have family in San Francisco.
There you go.
You can drive the Pacific Coast Highway, start in San Francisco, drive down the Pacific Coast Highway down to San Diego.
Yeah,
It's a great trip.
you go check out this Monterey.
There you go.
Exactly, and then
It's where the original Parent Trap was set.
that obviously you have to go.
Yeah.
Now you have to.
Now I have to go.
So what's your opinion on Chick-fil-A? I know we had a conversation with Mr. Holodoc.
No, I
I don't
have to
get
agree.
it.
Yeah, I love Chick-fil-A also, it's so good.
The fries.
I don't even
It's
eat
waffle
fries.
fries. Fries.
Well, I mean, if you don't eat meat, then probably it's a no, but.
No, the fries and a milkshake.
That's true, that's true. The
They're
fries,
just waffle fries.
Yeah, but they're amazing.
Then you can make your own waffle fries.
But it's hard to make waffle fries.
What is it? You can buy a frozen bag of waffle fries.
Yeah, but then some of them are burned on the edge.
I mean,
It's just
But
like, it's
whenever
not the
it's
same.
fried, it's really different than being baked.
Plus,
Plus, it's worse for you. I mean,
at our house, we have to make all of those things.
Yeah.
At Chick-fil-A, somebody else makes it for us.
and I just go through the line that's always busy. I mean, I'm gonna have to say that you're probably on the wrong side of history on Chick-fil-A because the line's always busy. It's all right.
It's okay.
They still accept you.
Get it though.
The ice in Chick-fil-A also, the ice in the drinks, like, it's the best ice.
What about the ice?
I don't know, like, because if you go to like McDonald's or Wendy's, it's like those weird cubes, but at Chick-fil-A, it's like soft.
Soft ice
Is it
like
like
cold
shake?
water.
It's for like little pellets, I guess. But they're not like, if you bite down on one, it's not gonna break your tooth, kind of.
Well, now I have to
It's
get a
not
soft
ice.
so I can see what's going on with
I
that.
say, if you ask anyone, they'll say that the Chick-fil-A ice is the best.
I've heard that Sonic Ice is the best.
No,
That's true.
Chick-fil-A ice is the best.
Sonic has good ice because it's a slushy.
I guess I don't
I
eat
don't
the
normally
ice.
get the ice,
No,
yeah.
I don't-
You should get the ice.
It's basically a slushy.
Can I have a cup of ice, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just don't get a drink, get a cup of ice.
It's worth it. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
You knew the answer to that, Caitlin.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to have my morning coffee with Dr. Gallo, so.
So did you guys play any sports when you were young?
I played softball. So I played softball in high school and then I went to college also.
I didn't play any sports. I danced for a while, and then I was really involved with music in high school, and then even was in jazz band in college as well. So I was more into that sort of thing.
What instrument?
I played tenor sax.
Yeah.
I play a string instrument. I'm in band.
I'm
sorry,
guys.
Bryce is all right at music.
Just okay.
Just okay.
Just a little.
Yeah. She dabbles.
What would you say to your describe your younger self?
My younger self.
Like your high school self.
Yikes. I don't know, do I remember her? That was a long
Yeah,
time
it's a long
ago.
time ago.
She ran from the dinosaurs.
Along with Morris?
Oh, yeah, along with Morris. Yeah. I don't know what I would say to her. I think she was probably a little more not confident in her opinions than this me is. I probably would have told her to be more confident.
Was she loud?
No. No, she wasn't.
Okay.
Dr. Morrow wasn't loud either, right, Dr.
No,
Morrow?
I'd probably tell myself to relax and
Yeah, maybe that's
everything
it.
was gonna be okay. So I think I got a little too stressed out and yeah, I'd probably just say, relax, it's all good.
This morning we talked about whether start times were too early.
Well, I mean, I think pushing it back to like 8 could be nice. But I understand why the district hasn't.
Yeah.
But why can't elementary school go earlier? Because a majority of the time they're waking up that early.
I mean, those are the arguments. Well, I would say, yeah.
For me personally, I think it's fine because
We're not using that
Yes.
mic.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's fine. For me, because a lot of high schoolers work after school, and there's like a legal time where like you can't work before school. So like, and you also can't go past a certain time in the afternoon that you are legally allowed to work. So if a high school student is working, then there's only a certain amount of time that they would legally be allowed to work. And then also the situation with our buses is just another argument that I feel like is brought up a lot.
Absolutely, and I think people worry about elementary kids, and the fact that so many of them are dependent upon whatever daycare or parents' work schedule is involved to get them on the bus. While it would be perfect and ideal for me to put my own elementary kid on the bus first and then go to work at high school, that would be great. The problem would be in the afternoon with the idea of her getting off the bus at 2:00 and I would still work until 3:30. And I think it just changes a lot of parents' schedules then for all of those elementary kids. And with, what time do I go to work? What time do I come home? Who can watch my kid before school versus after school?
Right. I think that, interestingly, a lot of our societal norms and things are built around the fact that we do high school the way we do it. And do our school start times. And so working for students, getting kids onto the bus, off the bus. Unfortunately, I think that it's a machine that's already running the way that it runs.
This is just a counter argument I thought. When we have 2-hour delays, my sister, who's in elementary school, has to go to like a neighbor's house until the bus comes. If we changed it, then she could get on and I could watch her.
Yeah,
while my mom
yeah,
watches.
absolutely, that would be absolutely true.
And I think it's so controversial because one thing that is proven is that if you go to school later, the test scores like skyrocket, right? And that's one thing that NA loves to brag about is how high their test scores are. But at the same time, I understand like not changing the time because I have soccer after school, I had marching band after school. So it would be from going to school at 8 a.m. and not getting back until like 9. So I understand that also.
I think logistically it's hard.
Yeah.
That's why you schedule college classes after 10.
If it works for you,
Yeah,
unless
if it
you're a
works.
morning person.
Yeah.
I'm like a 7, 8 o'clock person. Not a morning person. I don't sleep in. But like 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock's reasonable.
Just like a reasonable hour.
What I say is that I'm not a day person. So I like morning and I like night. I'm just not a day person.
There you go.
That's, yeah. I go like morning because it's just a fresh start.
Okay, yeah,
And
I
then
see that.
at night you can be a waste of a human. Go to bed.
A waste of a human. Don't worry, you don't need rest. It's fine.
2 weeks coming up.
Yeah, 2 weeks of rest.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Ask
guys
anyone what they're doing. They're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
We don't because we have children.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, all of you guys can enjoy your rest.
Yeah, definitely.
So a 10-year-old monster runs into
Yeah.
your room and says,
I
"Come
have
on,
a-
wake up at 7:30. Time
I
to
also-
open presents."
I also have responsibilities, so I will not be sleeping.
Mm,
I know a lot of you guys have tons of responsibilities
Yeah.
and tons of other obligations to do. So I really admire you guys for being able to do so much and you're so involved.
Why is
Agreed.
being- Why is being busy so important in it?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Well, I think that the culture of NA has produced that. I think there's a lot of pressures, maybe starting with parents that want the best for all of you and want you all to succeed and do your very best. And so I think that pressures come from that and that kind of trickles down. And
Yeah.
I mean, we want the best for you guys too, but sometimes those are at odds, right? Because we want you guys to be successful, but with the district's initiatives, with stress and anxiety, I think that I think that even before that, I think that personally, the two of us, especially, we think it's important, but we think that managing that school and life balance is really important too. I think being able to be with family or friends and hang out and do the things you love is super important.
Absolutely.
Do you think we have more stress than you guys did?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot more pressures, definitely. Well, I think that the standards have changed. I think that what the expectations are of what you should have done by the end of high school, whether it's just this district or elsewhere, I think that those standards have changed, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely, whether we like it or not.
And, you know, I think both of us having younger kids, like, that's something that we don't want for them necessarily.
Yeah.
We want them to be able to enjoy these years because, you know, school's part of it, but life is part of it.
I like really appreciate that opinion and like definitely hearing it from both of you because I feel like there are some times when teachers or adults don't fully see like the things that we like kind of go through in everyday life. So I really do appreciate that you guys like voice that.
I mean, I think we miss it sometimes
Yeah.
too, but I think hopefully you see that
Yeah.
we do appreciate, you know, we try. And so we'd like the best for you guys in life as well.
So do you think that the teachers at NA as a whole are trying to cut back on high school work and stuff like that?
I'd like to think so.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a lot of other responsibilities, other things going on as well. I mean, work, jobs, taking care of younger siblings, all of those sorts of things that are so important for you, and extracurricular things that you need to do.
Things that you love.
Service things that you love, that you want to be involved in. And Dr. Moran, I feel very passionate about that we want you to learn the content you need for our course. And maybe get excited about it if that's going to be your thing. And then other than that, to be able to enjoy the rest of your life as well.
Wow, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
It was like 5 minutes though. So.
5 minutes. Excellent. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
It's a cake.
Oh, wait, I will
now
check
I'm
it.
tired.
Yeah.
It
Do we have enough
smells so
forks?
good.
Oh, yeah, we need more.
I have spoons. We have.
I didn't know where it's at.
I think we have.
I don't. People keep hitting me with that.
Thanks for having
All right,
us.
are these yours?
No.
Okay.
You guys taking a lunch break?
I just did.
I did. I'm just kind of looking to get started.
It's okay.
I think
They just
we're
got-
like
Yeah.
There are 4 people on. Hi, Mr. Maury.
Yeah, I know Mr. Moore.
I'm good. How are you? Do you want to talk at all?
No, I'm sure.
You just here to watch?
Go ahead.
That's
I do
good.
not want to go home with cake.
You don't want to go home with any cake.
Okay, I'll
No, we just had. I told you last night we had
Is there
cookie
a place
exchange.
you can cookies alive?
Is there
Are you hopping on, Dana?
Oh yeah,
Do you want me to hop on?
Yeah, hop on.
Is there
Here, you
plates?
take
There's
mine.
plates.
Tell
Dr.
them
Gallo,
Hillary's
where'd you
coming
find
too,
those
'cause everybody's
plates?
looking for you.
Oh, for what's coming next?
Hillary is coming next.
So
We're
excited.
sitting at home listening. We're gonna-
I'm not part of that one.
Could you guys talk to Mrs. Oliver about Day of Code?
Yes. let's
Or
discuss
anything.
that.
I don't have to talk about that.
Just
She wants to get
technology in general.
Anything.
Got accepted at
Okay, let's do that.
Higher University.
So we talked to we talked to Officer Metzger about this a little bit.
Thank you, Dr. Gallo.
Cyberbullying goes on.
So
Did
that's
you
it.
say that? It's
She's
definitely
person. It would cover,
now
like,
that
it would make it
social
less
media has
than.
become a big deal in high school. And what would you say we could do to prevent a lot of that?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it comes down
But they
to
don't
thinking
really have.
before you click that send button.
And then
I think it's so important to work on your communication skills, not only face to face, but digitally
like
as well,
she's like.
and understanding how tone can affect things. So, even me on a personal and professional level, you know, I've misunderstood people, and people have misunderstood me, and it's all a part of those communication skills. So, number one, being empathetic to people and not necessarily agreeing with their views or what they're doing, but having an understanding for them and respect for them. So, respect and kindness, it all starts with that. And if you don't value those foundational pieces, it's so easy to get caught up in, you know, saying beautiful things.
I think that's a good way to. So let's talk Day of Code for a little bit. Okay. Let's touch the subject.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's amazing that all this is going on. It's really good work.
It was good to see
Yeah,
you
thank
too.
you for
Bye,
bringing
Dr.
that here.
No problem. I love doing days like this Each year, you know, we make little tweaks to try and make it better and better. This year, we kind of went with the workshop kind of idea where students can sign up to learn different things. So we have lots of new offerings that we haven't had in the past. So I'm excited to kind of build on that for next year and see, you know, what we can sub out and do more of. So looking at what went really well here and any changes that we can make with things. I don't want to say that things did go well, but you know, I want kids to be learning the whole time.
Yeah.
Trying something new, something they've never experienced before. And that's what this is all about trying something computer science based that you may not have ever even thought about or known about.
So what was like the main goal or the main purpose of bringing all this here?
So the main purpose is to acknowledge the fact that computer science has become the backbone to almost anything that we do today. You know, different technology tools, coding behind them.
It's my mic. Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh.
Because you muted it. Oh. So really just celebrating and acknowledging computer science's impact in our society and how anybody could engage with it, no matter what your skill level. Oh, thank you, Mr. Coleman.
I'm supposed to be going to his class right now.
Did he tell you you have to go?
He said, good job.
Wait,
Is this 8th period?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go to his class.
Okay.
Is Hildy coming down?
Yeah.
Hildy's coming down.
Good luck. I've
Do you
never
wanna-
I've never met
He'll
Hildy.
forget.
Hildy?
Yes.
I
Can you go tell
don't
him?
get them. I don't know.
Thank you.
I know him. I can tell him.
So you talked
I
a
got
little
it.
bit about
Are you sure?
comp sci.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a
nothing
lot
to
of friends that are seniors now that are going into like, CMU,
Yeah.
comp sci. Do you have any advice?
Yeah. Well, we just had a software engineer from Google this morning. Did you have a chance to stop by there? I know you've been busy with this. So one of the things that he talked about in session, which I thought was really cool, was the true need for software engineers, and that software engineers really need to be critical thinkers and problem solvers. So if you're somebody who, you know, enjoys solving problems and fiddling with things, then maybe being a software designer or engineer could be the route for you. And you can work in all different fields, you know, so maybe you're really into sports, but you're good at solving problems. You could blend those two together now and work for bigger companies or smaller companies in those athletic fields, doing computer science-based things and making really good money. You know, software engineers a lot of times are making way more money today than doctors and surgeons are. So, especially in the Pittsburgh area, they're definitely needed. And so when Google was here, he was telling us, we need software engineers. If you're a software engineer, you're going to get a job really, really fast, and you're going to be able to make that living and live comfortably. So I think that, and maybe it's something that you're passionate about as well, and you can tie the two together. You know, one of my favorite books is called The Element by Sir Ken Robinson. If you've never heard of him, you definitely have to Google him, watch his TED Talk. He talks a lot about creativity, but he also talks about finding your element. So what you're good at and what you love to do and where that intersection is. So if you're somebody who's good at solving problems or being a critical thinker, use those skills and align it with maybe something in the computer science field that has your passion involved too. So keep an open mind. You know, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what kind of jobs are going to exist 5 years from now. You know, people who work for companies and do their social media, that didn't exist whenever I was in college. And that was 10 years ago.
And I think that there's this whole mindset for our generation that you have to know what you want to do, like immediately. Once you hit high school, like, bam, you gotta do this and this and this to help you accomplish that goal. Do you think that it's okay to take time and really contemplate what you want to do instead of just rushing into it and basing it off of like your teachers and your parents?
I think, like I said, I think you need to find your element. I think you need to find what you're good at and what you enjoy doing and use that to kind of guide your career path. And I do think it's hard for students in high school to figure it out at this age. You know, my story is a little bit different. So I actually started out college at Duquesne for forensic science and law. And I was one of 40 accepted in the whole country into the program. And I got there and found out, you know, I'm not somebody who's good working in a lab. I need to talk to people and I'm gonna have to move, which I didn't want to do. And my other route was to go into the police force to become a detective or investigator. And I don't think I'm cut out for the police force. We'll have to ask Officer Metzger that. But once I got there and dug into it, I realized this is not for me. And so I decided, I said, you know, what were my most challenging things in high school? And it was math. And what am I good at? I'm good at explaining things to people. And so, well, what do? You become a math teacher. So then I changed my major to become a math teacher and then added on the technology piece because it really interested me. And so, you know, I found my element in what I do, but my path wasn't what I had planned. So I had to pivot and really think about what am I going to do every day that's going to make me happy. You know, they say that innovators have 3 things in common: that they play, they have passion, and they have purpose. So keeping those in the back of your head, I think that those can be kind of guiding backbones to what you need to do. But in life, you're going to have to pivot, and you're going to have to make changes. And the world we live in now changes in an instant, and people switch jobs and people switch careers, not just to find happiness, but because that's what the market entails today. So I think being open and willing to change is a huge skill today. Is Hildy's here?
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
All
Giving us
right.
some good advice.
Thanks for having me.
Please welcome Hildy.
Okay.
He's the first person who's been on time.
I know.
I'm German. What do you want? Am I sitting here?
Yeah, sure.
You can sit
What
wherever.
am I doing with this?
Wear it.
You can
Do I
wear it
have
or
to
not. No.
No,
And honestly, it's just a prop at this point.
Oh, I hate hearing me, so.
It's kind of a prop at this point. Okay.
Oh, it's kind of-
So does anyone here have access to the Instagram that
I
can
do.
live stream this?
Yeah.
Thank you. Because not as many people have been on the YouTube
Yeah.
as.
Can you grab my
many
charging
people.
cord from my MacBook?
So
It's in the
have
biggest
you watched
pocket.
any of the podcasts?
I'm sorry?
Have you watched any of them yet?
I have. I was watching, Jurgenki's.
Oh yeah, I was there for that one. I was excited for that one.
Yay! Dempsey's awesome.
Okay. Hey, Senna. You can put it. Oh,
Oh my bad,
you're
sorry.
good. Where do you want it?
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll try to make it. Do you think I can put another USB in here? Is there one on this
Oh,
side?
to charge it?
Yeah.
There's not on this
No.
side.
Okay, I'll do it from my laptop then.
Okay.
We're just trying to make the podcast like conversational.
Oh, goody.
My laptop's in the
You can take my laptop.
Yours?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Chelsea.
Okay. So where is Caitlin?
She
Is
went
she-
to go find him.
Because doesn't she have the list of the questions people have?
Yeah.
I just texted her.
Oh.
Okay, so we can just chill for a while.
Or you can.
If
Do you have any? You have any fun stories?
Horrible, I'm sorry.
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Good. Get your headphones.
Oh, I need headphones?
He doesn't want to hear
What
it.
do I need headphones
You don't
So
for?
you can hear everybody.
I can hear them. They're sitting right there.
Okay, Boomer.
Oh my God! You did not just say that. I thought you'd comment, okay, snowflake. God, I guess this will cover up most of my bald spots. Okay.
Let's send questions.
Is that it? 10? How many questions?
I said send questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Who's sitting
That's
back there?
annoying.
nobody.
Nobody.
On it.
You can sit back there.
Well, this is Hildy's time. Everybody's been looking forward to this so
Yeah,
much.
there's a
What the
lot
hell
of
for?
there's a lot of
There's a lot of
AP
questions.
kids who have like all of them. They're just crowding around
They're
that
all
computer
waiting.
to
They're all
watch.
waiting. Questions.
They're waiting for this to
Ask
start.
questions.
You're an
Ask
idol.
questions.
I'm an idol.
Yeah.
Thank oh
So
God.
who is?
Oh, they're coming in.
I
Who
did
knew
not.
it had to get old to become an idol?
I didn't know they were gonna come in. I think
It is annoying.
Can you
Yeah,
guys
I-
check and see
I-
if the live is working on
Yeah.
Instagram? Yeah. Thank you. It is. Okay, cool.
let's see.
Someone said Hildy is God.
Yes.
See?
How do you feel that you're a god? Apparently.
I'm telling you. How do you feel?
Big or little G?
Little G.
Little G. I'm okay with little G. The big G, I'm not.
It was Chris Key.
Pardon?
Oh, Christy.
It was Christy.
He idolizes you.
He's like, that's not weird.
Is it working on the Instagram?
This is the journal.
I feel like I'm in a
Like, can you go on
bubble
it?
of some
Yeah.
sort.
Oh, this is what it's been like all day.
Okay.
It's fun.
So when does this start? Now?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, goody.
Oh, it's going. We just like
So we've just been sitting here doing nothing,
Yeah.
and it's okay.
people are
Luckily,
willing
it's a
just to
virtual-
watch you do nothing.
Wow.
You could do that for a period. Just sit there.
And people would love
That's
it.
what I get paid for. You can ask my AP children. I get paid for doing nothing. Ask any of them. What do I know? Answer? Nothing. We're a lot about nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is there so many people? Hello.
So where's the questions, Chelsea?
Well, funny story. Caitlin
Is
Kleinfelter
it?
actually has them,
Okay.
Are you
And
not on the
and
doc?
she went to go find.
Here, wait,
There's a dog.
Share the
Oh,
doc.
here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
You're probably on it.
Oh, I think she did share it with me. I don't think I.
John
way
Dowd
to go,
said.
Chelsea.
Oh wait,
We've
there's
been
one from
wasting
John. It
everybody's
says,
time.
"Why do you,
This is not a waste of time.
John Dowd, what's the?
why do you like the Allman Brothers band so much?
Why
do you like the
How
Allman
can you
Brothers?
not like the Allman Brothers band? They're big G.
They're Big G.
Oh, Allman Brothers band.
Huge.
Oh, nothing. Yeah.
What's the best song they have?
For me,
Yeah.
One Way Out, but you guys wouldn't probably know that. But so you guys would probably be familiar with Whipping Post, which
No.
is you really should listen to Whipping Post. It's got just an awesome bass line. It's killer.
So what is this band again?
The Allman Brothers Blues Band.
How old are they?
Dwayne Allman is literally a guitar god. He's like one of my 17 all-time guitar gods ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll listen to them now.
You should.
I
People
will.
like Eric Clapton? No?
Yes.
Carlos Santana?
Not
Oh,
ringing a
man.
bell.
You guys are cultural wastelands.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's what my mother tells me. I'm just kidding.
Well,
My
your
sister
mom's
tells me
right.
that.
My mother tells
There
me
is one.
I'm her son.
Here's another one.
Okay, well,
John Dowd says, "How do you feel about people procrastinating so much on their term paper?"
hey, that's not on me. That one's on them. How much stress did I create today?
A lot. A lot of
The
stress.
main issue was the footnotes for me.
Yeah.
Because everyone did. Like I was out here with Drew. He had periods. I was here with Mara. She had commas. It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
How many
Yeah.
points do you think people lose on the footnotes alone?
Max 2, 3, maybe. Why
That's
did,
reassuring.
huh?
That's reassuring.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different version on formatting. Correct, Mr. Hall?
Yes.
I mean, and so is there an actual format to this junk?
No.
Well, there is, but you have to be within certain parameters. So if you had a comma or you had a period, do you actually think I care? Okay, well, that's your answer then.
That's good.
Okay.
If we had known that earlier.
Maybe I wouldn't have been stressed. Maybe I would have
Just,
stayed up.
you induced the stress. I did not induce the stress.
That's true.
That's very true.
I did like my haikus though at 4 a.m. That was just
How'd you get? What do you mean by that?
a student whose name I don't know. Am I supposed to?
You're allowed to use names.
Am I? Gloria sent me like 7 haikus. Didn't I show you the haikus?
No,
you
we weren't in class.
Oh, yeah,
about
we-
that.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. You're hardly.
I was-
and
I
when
was
you're
running
there,
around.
you're not really paying much attention.
We were
so-
paying attention. We were paying a lot of
Actually,
attention.
you should see our notes. They're not bad.
For today.
We learned.
Okay, that's a good thing because we didn't.
No, we were watching our
So there were
sets.
several there were several haikus that
Would you like to recite one?
I do not have one in front of me, or I would. They're actually awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was the point of making a haiku?
One of my students became I don't know what the word would be, crazed?
Yeah.
At 4 a.m, it didn't really want to type anymore, and apparently either did them at 4 a.m. or sent them at 4 a.m. Either way, so there was like 7 haikus about how she hated doing my paper and how I broke her computer and blame none of it on me.
Really?
Yes.
That's a lot of people do.
What,
Yeah.
blame it on me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm old, so okay, put a lot of burden on the old guy's back, sure.
Are we allowed to ask political questions?
Yeah.
Because John Dowd asks, what is your opinion on Trump being, well, he spelled that wrong, but being impeached? Yeah.
Do I have to say?
No.
I can hear them out there. Personally, yeah, you can't break the law. You can't go and, we have a lot of evidence, not necessarily, I mean, if you're a Trumper, then great. This isn't I don't personally think this is about getting rid of him. I think it will possibly get rid of him, but it's more about the fact that there are rules and you broke the rules, and therefore, as the president, you really shouldn't be able to get away with it just because you can, or at least you think you can. I mean, you guys, we have rules with you. I have rules. You have rules, don't you? And so, if there's rules and they're broken, then someone's got to pay for it. And for president, the rules are potential impeachment. So, and they could have done this a lot of ways. They could have just slapped his wrist and said, bad Trumpy, don't do that anymore. But they chose not to. I mean, they chose to literally cut his head off. Okay, people have cut off the heads of kings for a long time. Yeah, that's my political say.
That was good.
No, thanks.
You're welcome. Another question from John Dowd.
Okay, John Dowd.
He wants to know if this year's econ class is better. What is better than last year's?
Define better.
I don't know what he means. Like more fun,
I
smarter.
don't know. I always have fun in econ.
Do you like econ more than Hug?
I do. I do. I've told you guys.
Yeah, I feel like you have.
I really don't like Hug only because I didn't build Hug. If I had built Hug, it would be a different creature, but I have to answer to AP tests and stuff, and so I have to let you guys know whatever. I actually like the World Affairs class significantly better.
Did you teach that before?
I did. There was one of my friends was the originator of the World Affairs class, and then as the class got bigger and better, because mostly of him, they needed some other idiot to do it, so they enrolled me, and I did that, and then Mr. Funke came in, and then so Mr. Funke and I did it, and as I rolled into AP, because no one else wanted to do it, yeah, that was kind of my burden in life. Kind of like you guys. I signed up, I had no idea what the hell I was getting myself into, and now I'm not sure I like where I am, but I do like you guys, so.
Yeah, you're probably the only reason I took the class. I probably wouldn't have taken the class. If you were a world cultures teacher, I probably would have taken world cultures.
Well, thanks, Chels.
You're welcome.
But then again, we go back so long.
Yeah, and Sydney.
Well, yeah. For those of you who don't know what she's talking about, Sydney is her sister, and I've known Sydney since she was 7, and I've known Chelsea since she was 5, so.
So technically, I've known you almost longer.
Yeah,
Wait,
you have.
I'm
Well,
wrong.
as long.
Well, what from a younger age?
Right, from a younger age. So
I
I've had more of a bad influence on you in the long run.
Right.
Okay, good. And Maleko, her dad keeps me alive, so.
You have to be nice.
So I figured I would, pay it by driving her insane.
Oh, that's really sweet of you.
Oh, thank you. What else we got?
Well, John Dowd.
Oh.
Again, is Dowd the only one out there? Dowd, what's
He's
going
out
on, man?
there.
There are other people out there. They're just
Okay.
using his computer.
He wants to know if you like Monopoly, and if so, which Monopoly is the best / smartest option?
What?
Wait.
Do I like the game
I don't make
Monopoly?
the questions. I just read them.
I can just go on your
Are there-
questions, Charles.
Okay, yeah, I think John Dowd. We're gonna take a break.
Well, I can answer that question. And
Oh,
that
okay.
Monopoly is fun, and yeah, you need to either be the Scotty dog or the race car, because those are the only 2 ones that actually matter.
Why do they matter?
Because the rest of them are like horrible and they always lose.
I feel like Monopoly is just like a really long, never-ending game.
Have you been to AP HUD?
That's true.
I'm also less than halfway through it though.
Well, yeah. It'll get worse, don't worry.
I believe it.
Okay.
Do we have another term paper?
No, we don't have another term paper. I only have like enough love for one.
Right.
Because otherwise, you have a lot more paper. You'll have several more papers to write, particularly one at the end that'll be huge. Yes, but Mr. Hall knows about that one.
I'm scared.
Yeah, there's a Gimundus project at the end of the year.
Oh, the final project.
The final project, where yeah, one of you, or actually several of you, have got to put together something, and while others are putting together some other lovely thing, including some of the videos that we're trying to teach you how to make, and just a number of different things. We're trying to make you into, for those of you who are out there who know what's going on, the final project is we're going to redesign the 6th grade geography class.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember you telling us that in
Yeah,
like the
I
first week of
did,
school.
but you guys don't listen to anything I say, so, okay.
Are we gonna be able to actually talk to 6th graders?
No, you're gonna be able to talk to a select group of staff, including possibly some of my graduates who will like evaluate you.
Your graduates. You should bring Sid.
What the hell would Sid know about any of this?
I don't know.
Okay,
But okay, how about so many you're known as AP HUD, wise, very wise.
not so, but okay.
Well, the question was, do you agree with that?
No.
Like, so you don't.
Of me being wise?
Yes.
No, I'm old. There's a difference.
But do you know that you're like looked as this huge, wise
I-
God?
No, I did not know that. I knew that I was, how shall I say, that most people don't hate me, they hate my class.
Right.
And yeah, the God thing is nowhere near. I mean, I was like you in high school. I stunk at high school.
Are you saying we all speak up?
No, actually, you guys would have been the people that I would have been afraid to hang out with because you're so smart. You would have been the people that would have, made me look stupid. And I just know a lot about what I do.
Okay. Because
Like a lot about what I do. But I had a lot of time to do it.
that's very true.
So yeah, it's just experience. It's like me being a good soccer coach. Am I a good soccer coach?
I think so.
For your sister, I was. For others, not so much. Like, I mean, there's people that didn't like me as a coach and hated me and thought I was mean and nasty and wicked.
Sydney didn't.
But I win. And if you're playing soccer, that's what you want to do, win. And for AP, what's the only reason you guys let me beat you up?
GPA.
Right, your GPA and the fact that you're gonna do well on the AP test. Okay?
We'll see.
No, it won't happen.
Okay. Hopefully. Man, John Dowd is just going
John Dowd
at
just
it.
has a computer going. I
Oh.
feel like I'm on Howard Stern.
Someone wants to know, is Hug a hard class to take?
I can't answer that. I really can't because
Like, do you think your class is hard? Do you realize, like,
no, here's what I realize. I realize that I'm teaching the very, very brightest kids in one of the very, very brightest schools on the planet, and if I don't make you play at your highest level, then I'm wasting your time.
it's true?
Therefore, you just never really have had anybody just say to you, that's good, but you can do better. And that's all I've ever said to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are always been the ones that everybody goes, oh, well, look, it's Chelsea. Well, Chelsea's really smart. And oh, yeah, that, she must have meant the right answer. I don't let you get away with that junk.
Right.
So neither does he.
Mr. Hall?
Oh, you don't let him get away with that junk, do you?
In different ways.
Right.
Yeah, in different
What's an
ways.
Well, we just
Yeah.
look at, so is it hard? I don't know. What's your background? What are your goals? how will you relate to me? I don't know. I mean, there's some people who relate to me much better than others. And that doesn't mean that you're gonna do well just because we're friends. You
Yeah,
guys
exactly.
often like misunderstand friendship between a teacher and a student, and the fact that I actually care about your grade. I don't care about your grade at all. It's not my grade. It's your grade. I care about you. That's an entirely different issue.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence. I like
That what?
Sydney was good friends with you and she did well in your class.
Yes.
And Mara.
I'm Mara.
It's not me.
You're doing quite well.
What?
Huh?
How's your grade not?
Yeah, how's your grade?
We'll talk about this later.
Let's ask Dow. Dow, are you out there?
Who?
Dow.
He's right out there.
Okay, so we can ask, how comes Chelsea's not doing so good?
Someone actually did come up to me and said, "You know why you're not doing good?"
First
I
of
kid
all,
you not. Someone did.
why would someone say that? Secondly,
I don't
what
know.
would- did they give a suggestion for doing better?
Yes, they said you're studying too much,
Oh, well, okay, there it is.
and I went
Sure.
like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say to them.
Okay. That's one solution.
Yeah, I would study less.
Study less, care less,
Yeah, stress less.
stress less. Yeah. So what else is going on? What else you guys need to know about?
Well, you always wear the best shirts. So where do you get them from?
The best shirts?
Yeah, you always have interesting shirts. Like your suit.
It's a white shirt.
No, other shirts.
What are you
You
talking
have
about?
like
The t-shirts?
Hawaiian shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Again, old collection.
Are they vintage?
Yeah, and then the t-shirts and stuff that are from whatever the people make at the end of the year. You guys are,
Oh, yeah, I
about to
forgot
design
about that.
your, because this may be the last year for Hug if I decide to leave, and then you guys would have the very last one, which could be like immense.
why do you think this is your last year?
You're driving me nuts.
I kind of want you to stay there because I think the grade below deserves.
Yeah,
So-
A misery loves company statement, eh?
Yes.
Okay. So should I be meaner to them?
Yes.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think you. I think you just keep it the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you love Spider-Man,
I do.
and you have a Spider-Man suit
I
in your
do.
room. Do you ever wear it?
I have, and it's really scary. The seniors bought it for me, and as a final gift, and it was the only one they could find was a child size, and so it was like, okay, Spider-Man suit is supposed to be incredibly tight, but not on an aging balding fat man. So my better alter ego is what I was for Halloween, which was Fat Thor, who is,
You
my
won.
yeah. How could I not? I was the embodiment of it. So yeah, I have that. The only one that actually fit. It might fit Mara, maybe.
Did anyone else wear
You know,
it?
yeah, Carolyn Daggett. It actually
She
fit
did?
her. Yeah, you know Daggett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
she's built much like you. She looks about the same frame. It fit her quite well. That's why I thought you might. It actually would fit you. I had some other student put it on, and it no longer has a zipper on the back
Was that
because they
Derek?
literally ripped the zipper out of it.
Was that Derek?
Yes,
I feel
was
like my
Derek.
picture or my sister has a picture with
she
you
does.
in
She
it.
does. There is one picture of that, and it's been banned in 47 countries for like potentially being pornographic. I don't know.
So I guess she doesn't have it anymore.
Well, maybe maybe it got deleted. Yeah, there's a picture. Like I said, it's a short, fat, bald man in a really way too tight Spider-Man suit over top of clothing.
Hildy, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So if you were decide to call it quits after this year, what do you think you would do instead?
Like that's one of the reasons why I haven't.
Your mind is running.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm
why I
saying? Like, what do you
largely
do?
haven't decided on this. The what I'd like to do and what I will do are two different things. I will probably sit on a couch and veg But what I'd like to do is work with the World Affairs Council to make a lot of the things that they do more accessible to kids and expand Euro Challenge, which if there is a small G, that's what I'm the small G of. So
What's the small G?
there's the big G for God and the small G for God. I'll take the small G. I won't use the big G.
I'm new to this.
Yeah,
Like,
G things, right.
Yeah.
Or there is a third G, right? For the, the G for the hood, but I'm not a G from the hood, so. So yeah, that's probably what I would like to do is try to still do things involving world affairs and politics.
A serious question now for you, Hildy. As the wise man, everybody says you're wise, and I agree. We've talked about a lot of things before. On this day of code, where kids are getting out of their normal thing, and we're doing this podcast as a way to try to dig beneath the surface of what the usual is, teaching outside of the textbook.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to take on a student teacher at this point in your career, which I'm sure you would not want to do.
I wouldn't do that to anybody.
What advice do you think you'd give them about how to best make a learning environment? Like, what do you think kids need most of these days?
And I've talked to AP kids about this. I don't see the future being what my past was of us memorizing crap. You guys are caught in that transition between memorizing crap and spitting it up on a test and being mental bulimics.
Which you don't agree with.
Which I don't agree with at all. You guys are going to be the people that use the things like, the RSAs that we did today, the videos that we made today, and all the different versions of how that was put together is what your future is going to be. It's not going to be filling out stuff to meet a rubric. It's not going to be like typing things in and spitting them back out on the computer. It's going to be how do you use your computer? How do you define the things? How do you be creative? I think the big, for all of you, because, remember, NA is a unique little, like, weird place on the planet with a bunch of really bright people in it. The defining moments for you guys are going to be how unique can you be rather than how can you be like everybody else.
Do you think that was because of the iPhone? Like, people can just look things up now when they, like a map test.
Yeah, we had to memorize all this crap. You guys, like when I was in, God damn, all right, boomer. Yeah, when we were in, chemistry class, I did horribly in chemistry. Oh my God.
Me too.
At NA. I'm an NA grad. And yeah, I sucked at it because literally the day that we learned how to use a slide rule, I was absent and the teacher said, we'll learn how to use it because he'd already moved past that. Well, if you don't know how to use a slide rule in chemistry in 1970, you had no idea how to do any formula, which meant every single thing you did on the test was wrong. You guys can now put all the formulas into your phone and just plug in the numbers and the phone tells you what the answers are. That's an entirely different world. So
do you feel like though kids, and I'm not inferring that they are, do you think now without having to go through those calculations, the short, the process of going through that, do you think that's something lost or do you think that's unnecessary?
I think it's both. I think it's lost in that, like, my econ kids can't literally add, I gave a test yesterday, 5 times 1,000. 14 kids broke out a calculator. Some of them got the wrong answer. I don't know how they did that because they punched in the wrong number. So the skills of using these things are going to be what's important because your bosses are going to ask you, much like our bosses have, of try to come up with new ways of just getting a cat. School is school. Yeah.
So it's interesting that I'm dating you again, Boomer. One of the most senior members, and I've always respected this about you, that conversations I've had with you, somebody who contemplates seemingly retirement once a year, and always seems to come back the following year. Always.
Because I'm poor. I've got a wife and a Porsche to support.
Well, but you've never been somebody to just do the same thing year in and year out. And I've always found that inspirational for myself too.
That's because I have a very, very, very short attention
Me
span.
too.
And so whatever the heck we did last time, is just
But that's-
boring me now.
Because when you're around teenage kids all day long and you realize that their attention spans are shorter than yours, then you
I
need
don't know
to
about that.
then you need to spice it up with different things to keep
Yeah.
them interested.
Yeah.
They want us to look at the questions.
Mr. Hall, what happens
So
when your
I-
attention span is shorter
I go
than
off on
ours?
tangents.
I would just like to say the comment section has been really active.
Blowing up.
Right.
Okay, comments. Bring the comments.
Thank
What are they
you,
saying?
Thank you, John Dowd, Samuel Persinger, and Christopher D for being Illinois.
But what do they say?
Well, one of them. How did you get the nickname of Hildy?
Hildenbrand?
But like, they're like.
Well, there's over a quantum leap.
But like, was there like a story? Was there a person?
Yeah, my dad was a Hildy, and then I'm the eldest, so I became Hildy, and everybody else in my family in their own generation is a Hildy. And when I started playing soccer in college, that was like the years of Pele, and like all the people were single named entities, and so that just kind of became who I was. My roommate, also an NA grad, John Hoagie, we just became Hildy and Hoagie, which was kind of like, like Mutt and Jeff, which would only a boomer would understand. Or
I have no idea what you're talking about.
okay, I looked at you, but you didn't
Nope,
really
I'm not
respond.
there.
Or I have what Itchy and Scratchy,
Jeff?
Itchy and Scratchy. I don't know who to refer to. Who's like together?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Mr. Lang, do you want to hop on back here? Nope. No. Okay.
Good God! Somebody getting out of the snow.
How do you cook your steak?
What?
That is one of the questions, John. would
Really?
like to-
I would bet that they think it's really bloody. Because no, it's not.
Really?
No, I don't like really.
Like rare,
I guess-
medium.
Yeah, medium rare.
You got to say chef's recommendation when you go out to dinner. Never tell the waitress.
Well,
if you're
yeah,
going out to a
because
good place,
that's true.
say however the
That is
chef
true.
wants to make it.
Right, because otherwise they get angry and
Yes.
then make it like, oh, well, I decided to burn it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like my steaks like well done.
We were
on the
off on a
outside.
really good
We
solid
were.
thing.
Now
He said
we're on
well
the
done.
never,
He
never
said
land,
well
but
done,
that's
you can't
okay.
trust
I'm
him.
sorry. I thought we wanted
Trust
to answer the comment question.
All right.
He said
How
well
He
done.
said well
long do I have
Um,
to sit in this place?
We have how many more minutes?
Well, technically, it's 8 more minutes until the class ends.
Okay.
Are you done, Hildy?
No, I'm
Oh.
whatever you want. It's
Okay.
cool.
You can do whatever you want.
Good. Sure.
Okay. Get us back on track, Chelsea.
On track
Good.
to like
luck
his
with that.
career. How about
Well, we were.
so? Let's say you do
What do you want?
retire after this year,
Okay.
and you had to travel somewhere in the world.
Oh.
Where would you go? Like, because I know you don't like. You've always lived here.
Well, yeah, but I love Europe. I really love it. But I mean, Europe is just, for those of you who've traveled, which a lot of you have, Europe is a lot like Pennsylvania. It's just going to Pennsylvania.
What?
Yeah, Germany in particular is just like Pennsylvania. That's why the Pennsylvania Dutch settled here.
I've never been to
Looks-
Germany.
It looks just like Pennsylvania. It's just like if you lived in, let's say, Arkansas, and you came to Pennsylvania, you go, wow, the place is really cool.
Don't you find the pace to be much different, though?
Yeah, the pace is a lot different. The people are much more engaging. They're bilingual, and it's I find that interesting. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I find the Japanese culture like incredibly interesting. Sorry to all the Koreans and Chinese. I really haven't gotten that much into, and I know all their histories. I just like really love the Japanese, mostly because I grew up on Bruce Lee, and who was Chinese. But the samurai movies and stuff, which always interested me. I don't know that I would do well in Japan. That's all. And in fact, Mary's dad.
Is that your wife?
No, let's not go over that.
What?
Your dad won't really let me go to like half the world.
Yeah.
Why?
I have
Oh,
Crohn's
tell that
disease.
story.
Oh.
Yeah, and I could
Is your dad a
easily.
doctor?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, he
gastroenterologist.
keeps me alive. Yeah, he literally keeps me alive. And he's warned me to not potentially go to places because the healthcare there would not be able to sustain whatever I would need if I'd need it immediately. Because for those of you who don't know what happens, your intestinal tract can swell shut, which means
And we've
nothing
gotten
goes
to
through.
the intestinal tract on the podcast.
Yes, we've gone everywhere. Not quite yet. Let's just continue and find ways. All right, what else we got, Chelsea? You're leading this attack.
That was a good question, Chelsea.
Thank you. So out of all, because you've been teaching for quite a long time,
Actually, not as long as everybody thinks, but go ahead.
Well, anyway, you're probably the most experienced teacher in the room. So out of all the years, what's the one most memorable thing? Like out of anything, just what's the thing you always think of?
Let's see. Things that always pop up in my head. The day that I had an entire class, I was passing out something, I don't remember what it was, and I was humming Build Me Up Buttercup. And one of the girls that was like really kind of a friend of mine started like humming it too, and suddenly we had a whole class singing Build Me Up Buttercup, which was just an amazing thing. We once had an entire class sing Gloria Gaynor.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I'm trying to remember the name of the song right now. God, I can see the song and I can't think of it.
Sing it.
I Will Survive. Thank you. Somebody said I will survive. Thank you. Yes.
How'd you know that?
I Will
Marissa?
Survive. Yes, Gloria Gaynor, right. You had an entire
Her
class
mom's a
singing I
music
Will
teacher.
Survive. Okay. And Gloria Gaynor's awesome, but
I will survive.
right. Yeah. What else you got, Chels? History? What do you want? Anything?
History.
What about it?
No, I was just wondering, what would you like? What would you?
Hey, Kristen Kinsler's here. I'm gonna go get her.
Kristen
She wants to come
Kinsler's
down and
here.
talk. Yeah.
Oh my God, one of
Okay.
my favorite people.
Ouch.
Well, she's one of my favorite people from the past. How's that? Once you leave, you might be one of my favorite people. You already were my favorite, like, because you're attached to your sister.
What about
That's
me?
true.
Well, you
We're
two,
not
because
talking
your
about
dad and your sister.
Wait, which sister?
Which one? I don't remember which one. God.
Jenna?
Which one? Jenna. Jenna, thank you.
Oh, why is Jenna your favorite?
I didn't really know Alexa that well.
I have a
I-
question.
And Jenna was, because she didn't take AP, but she hung out with all the AP kids.
Yeah, she's
And so we kind of became friends because, your dad, and then she was, she's just an awesome person.
I have a question. This is just out of my own curiosity. But you remember, so when we were last year, 9th grade, we took that writing test
Yeah.
to like get in AP Hub.
Yeah.
What did that actually mean to do?
Yeah,
Like,
what
did you
happened?
read them? Did you read
Okay,
them?
so here's what happens to that for all of you 9th graders out there, for all you 10th graders who always wondered that answer.
Yeah.
I read them over the summer, and then I kind of I don't really grade them. I just kind of stack them into like, here's the people that answered this thing really, really well, and here's the people that kind of struggled, and here's the people who really didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And generally, what happens is the people that didn't write all that well in there didn't take the class. And the other ones, there's a weird correlation, not a specific correlation, but I'll probably, you guys know what correlation is? There's about a 93% chance that if you struggled on that you struggle in my class. And if you wrote well in that you do well in my class. I don't know why it's there, but it is.
Okay. I don't want to know how I did on mine.
I'm sure you did okay. Where's Kinsler?
She's coming. They're waving because they have another question.
Okay, what's the other question?
Who is it? Oh. Well, the most recent one was, who is your favorite U.S. president and why?
Kennedy.
Kennedy?
Yeah, and I know he wasn't a great president really, but he was the president when I was a little kid. And my earliest real memories of anything were when Kennedy was shot and what happened, and watching the funeral of Kennedy. And it's like my mother told me. My mother told me a long time ago, you got to die to become a saint. So literally and figuratively. That rarely do people who are alive, like people think, are wonderful. Once they die, people think of them wonderfully. So when Kennedy passed, there was a lot of things that like today would never have gotten away. The womenizing and things that the Kennedy administration did probably wouldn't fly today.
Right.
But at the time were something that were inspirational and for young people.
Right.
Like I've always said, his daughter might be the one person to unite all of us boomers behind a Democratic president. So.
I think we have to wrap it up soon, Hildy. Winchell and Lamb are up next.
Awesome. Winchell and Lamb.
Yes,
together.
You can stay and watch. Do you want to stay?
Double
Hey.
Or do you just want to tell them to come down
And I
here?
will be
You
staying.
can run up and tell them to come down to the library.
I can get a different.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could do that, there's only
Winchell
like
should
12
be on time,
Yeah, Mr.
but
Winchell said he's
Lamb would
coming.
most likely be.
I'll go, should I go get your kids?
I'll go get them.
Okay.
and-
Because Kristen's coming too.
Okay, cool, we can all, like,
Eliza
we
and
can
I.
have like a social study fest,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
Well, that's what
summer.
I was thinking. I was like, first it's gonna be trivia, but then because you weren't coming.
Well, good, thank God, I got away. Hey, thank you, ladies, it was a
So
pleasure.
Eliza and I are going to do the like budget game, and then after, are you and Caitlin just going together?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll pass it over to you. Okay. So, hi Heather, can you just like do something? I'm gonna lose track of time.
Yeah.
Just stop me if I'm getting like over.
Can I hop on? I might be back.
Huh? We need a seat for.
Oh,
Miss
I'll just
Sweet.
stand.
What?
Do you want to hear it? Yeah.
Thank you for Mr. Hildebrand and
What's that?
Someone asked
Mr.
how
Lamb
does president.
and Mr. Winchell.
I'd like to see
So-
what John has to say.
we have planned a.
Why? How does President Trump fit into?
Yep.
So next up, we have Mr. Lamb and Mr. Winchell, and we've planned to play a little game with them.
YouTube link.
And
Like a trivia off?
Hey Chelsea,
yes.
is there any way you can send Mrs. Frazier the link for this?
Oh yeah, of course.
And then she can copy and paste it into her Twitter thing.
Okay. I'll email it.
So they're gonna start and then we and then like once they're done.
What's your email? How do you spell your last?
Fraser, Fraser.
Marissa, is that your charger?
I'm one of your assistant
I've heard
principals.
my name.
Because there's two Jennifers.
Is that your charger?
Oh, do you want without the number
No,
one?
I'm using Liza's right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know
anybody's?
why there's one.
I don't know. The phone charger?
Yeah.
the link.
The phone charger.
Oh, I'm using. Did you leave yours?
Yeah, mine was right there, and so we took it.
I'm using. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to copy.
Would you like
So
a piece of cake?
you all are getting questions to ask
So-
Mr. Winchell, Mr. Lamb
I'm
through.
doing
trivia.
I'm doing a game for
the
them.
Instagram.
Yeah, and then we're doing.
So right up here will be Eliza, me, and Marissa when we do the newlywed game, and then Caitlin and Maya are gonna do another thing, like a trivia.
What class is this through?
Journalism.
I've been
Do
here
you
all.
guys enjoy this?
I love
This is
this.
so fun.
It's
I'm
my
starting my
favorite
own
class.
podcast. Mr. Hall's letting me.
Oh my god.
I'm so
You have
excited.
to share it so we can follow. What are
Yes,
you gonna
it's
talk about?
true
Why
crime.
is this not working?
Ooh.
Wait,
Yes.
can I be a part of that?
I have a co-host already, but I can guest star you.
Okay, I like
How do I
love
get this
crime.
link?
Huh?
Wait,
That's what I want to do when I'm older. I want to be a
It's not
behavioral
letting me copy and
scientist.
paste it.
So,
Okay.
but it was really cool. I asked
Is someone
Mr.
getting
Hall
which
if
one?
he can. I was like, this is so fun.
It's like not letting me paste it.
Did someone get them?
Is anyone getting
Is
which
anyone
one?
getting them? Or am I
Yeah,
just-
Denise said she's gonna go get
And
them.
this is
Okay.
getting.
Go get them.
For some reason, the link isn't pasting
Yeah.
well for me. Let me try
What
again.
are these?
I'm here.
Those are sound
Here,
effects.
yeah, it's on there. It's right next
Can I
to
hear them?
Is this like your intro?
Let me try that.
The intro's really cool. Who did that?
Oh, here we go.
This is so cool. Can I do this one?
That's the one I use for.
Okay, there you go. So, yeah.
My phone.
This is actually so cool.
Okay, people.
No, yeah, you can
We're
come
gonna
in.
need to spread out a bit.
Yes.
Oh, what's going on? You guys have to leave. Okay.
Once
People can be in here, but once we get started,
Yeah.
like, a lot of people can sleep. But you're fine.
Yeah.
Have y'all been in here all day?
I've been in here all day.
Dang.
You're fine. Yeah.
so
Who are you interviewing?
Lamb
Mr.
and
Lamb and Mr. Winchell.
But
Is
this
that
is my
wait? Have y'all been doing this all day too?
I did it
I've been
fifth
here.
and sixth, and then
I was here every period except for third.
I came.
Are you gonna stay here?
I'm 5, 6.
A lot of people
Party
have
7.
Yeah.
So they're gonna
Once
read
we
this with
start, I would recommend a lot of if you're not like
Like, let's settle it
Yeah,
like
now that the bell's rung.
7.
I just came in here to say hi.
Yeah, the reason a lot of people were in here is because this is like
I mean if you have questions, you can obviously come
I'm
ask
gonna
now.
go on leave. Everyone leave. It's too crowded. I liked it here this morning when it was just Mia. Sorry.
I was here.
And then I ruined it.
When it was
Wait, someone just said something. Did no one get that?
Ask questions.
Okay.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was a good time.
Why is there so many?
This morning.
It's stressing me out. I feel like
I
we have an
know,
audience.
this is stressing me out with so many people.
I guess this gives us an audience.
No.
We're leaving.
Yeah,
we're not
leaving.
gonna stay.
Can we keep
We're going
going?
to play
You're going to
water bowling and
Water boy and bubble.
Okay. I'll be out like halfway because then I'm giving it over and then I'll head out. The what?
Yes, you can. Wait, I don't know.
Yes. That's my question.
I thought
So
Louise,
what is that?
I thought you were getting.
Guys,
Yeah.
we need to
Oh,
send.
That's what I
Sure,
heard.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yeah.
Mr. Lambert.
Which one, Lamb?
Yeah.
Wait,
You
hold on,
guys
come
forget
here.
the.
I can go then. Hold on.
Lamb is right here.
Am
Hurry
I
up.
taking a run?
No, literally run, like literally run.
Getting Lamb.
I'm surprised Winchell's not on time.
Winchell won't be on time no matter what.
They're coming.
Where is the journalism class?
Is Mrs. Fraser remaining off air right now?
What?
Or do you want to come on?
Do you want to come on?
It's okay.
We're just in a lull right now until the next people come.
This morning was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you
Wanna
want to pop
put
on
your-
that.
yeah.
You grab this one.
Oh, no.
It's easier to hear that way.
Yeah.
You can get more focus. with it.
Where?
Mr. Winchell.
Wait, he's here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for.
I was like,
Lance, so-
Winchell was on time for Gabby.
Okay.
Let me know when we're.
I don't know where we're at.
We are pulling it into the audio.
Okay. So how long have you been here at NAI?
So I am one of the assistant principals, Jenna Frazier, and this is my second full year at NAI. I was actually a teacher in the district. I was at Ingomar Elementary School as a special ed teacher. And then I was at Bethel Park High School for some time and then was able to go back here.
Oh, that's nice. So do you prefer being an assistant principal rather than a teacher, or do you not have a preference?
I think I like my current role right now because I get to do things like this and I get to meet students and I can advocate a little bit more for change or work through big initiatives, which I love doing with our teams. So I think I like my role better now.
This is my language. I heard it catching it.
Oh,
I was like, where is that coming from?
Look who decided to show up.
Mr. Lamb,
Hi,
what's up,
Mr.
buddy?
Lamb.
Thanks for asking the question.
Thank you, Mrs.
Frazier.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming on. Mr. Lamb.
So,
Your name is yours.
awesome.
And then when Mr. Winchell comes,
Yeah, I'll move out whenever we.
The audio is so good on that.
It really is very nice.
Wow.
Mr. Winchell is sitting right next to you.
He's right there.
No, I don't consent to being recorded.
Well, that's gonna be an issue.
Did you actually?
Did you actually?
Okay.
I can barely hear.
Okay. Where is
I always say that when I get this. This call may be recorded. Well, I don't consent to being recorded. Oh, then we have to hang up. I'm like, oh, darn.
What a bummer.
Okay. Where's Mr. Winchell? He doesn't have
Yeah,
time to
Winchell's
chat.
probably like-
He's
we
like,
can start with
he's
you.
chatting with the librarian.
Oh, all right.
We should go.
So as I'm just gonna start with an intro. So everyone really knows you and Mr. Winchell, you're polar opposites, right?
No.
Well,
Okay.
that's what a lot of people think. You know, American history, European history.
I'm
Here,
90s and racist.
Right. So
Mitchell's coming.
All right.
pretty much, I'll wait to explain. But pretty much
There he is.
everyone thinks you're opposites, even if you're not. A lot of people think so.
Hey, Wish.
Here.
Chelsea is ridiculing you before you arrived.
I'm sure, I can see that easily.
So I have a little game for you too, because you know you're polar opposites.
Either way works. Yeah.
But in this,
wouldn't go
Do you
that
think you're
far.
polar opposites?
I think your teaching methods are very opposite. Anyway, so
We have a game.
I forget which one of you I told about this, but we're gonna play what you call like the newlywed game, but it's like or like the best friend tag.
This sounds
I
like a
think Julie
genius
would
idea. What did you come up with before?
It could be called, you know, like the best friend tag. So
Yeah.
basically, like I'm gonna ask you what is Mr. Winchell's favorite blank, or I'm gonna ask you what's Mr. Lamb's, and then if you get it right, you get a point. But if you don't, you don't. So it's a little bit of a competition too.
So can I hear his answer from me and vice versa?
Yeah.
So I can lie.
Well,
Maybe we should write.
Well, I would never
During
lie.
the
Lying
Christmas
good.
season.
do you want to be on the naughty list?
This is my subtle way of saying so Mr. Lamb can laugh.
I would never.
Should we make this more stricter rules?
No, I don't think that's
No,
Let's go
we
on.
can have some fun.
Okay, so, Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
what is Mr. Winchell's favorite book? Can you tell me that?
Mr. Winchell doesn't even have Mr. Winchell's favorite
I got it.
Good, tell me.
Okay.
Wait.
Can I move your mic up?
Does this have to be a fiction book or non-fiction?
Either.
Either one. I'm gonna get the
Books?
hint. It's gotta be non-fiction. That's gonna make it hard.
I was going to say the Bible.
I was thinking
Merry
that.
Christmas.
I almost feel like I can't say that's not right.
Exactly.
Other than the Bible.
But I'm not gonna say it's not right. No, Mr. Lamb, you got me on that one.
Point Lamb.
I gotta get the same question so I can back him in. Right?
What's Lamb's favorite book then?
Okay, oh, we do that. So, Mr. Winchell, what is Mr. Lamb's favorite book?
Favorite book? That's an interesting question. Are you consulting with your?
No, I just told them what the answer was so that you couldn't accuse me.
That looked like a lot more than 2 syllables over there.
Oh, it is.
So it's not the Bible.
The Bible. That's 3 syllables.
Can I consult over here?
Go for it.
What is Harry Potter books called? Mr. Lamb is a big fan of Harry Potter.
False.
2 points then.
What is Mr. Lamb a big fan of?
My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird.
My brother's middle name is Atticus from
I suggested naming our son Atticus. It did not go very
My parents wanted to name him Atticus, but then they thought of nicknames with Addie and Cuss, and they figured it'd be best to go with that as his middle name.
Mr. Lamb, what did you guys settle on?
Our child is Jack Jonathan Lemon.
Nice.
And it makes for a beautiful Christmas card, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's up on my wall in my house right now. And it's not even anywhere near dark. I can assure you that.
All right, moving on. Mr. Lamb, what is Mr. Winchell's favorite food?
Favorite food?
He was on right before you. Mr. Winchell, do you know your answer?
I do.
I think pizza is too cliche, but I'm going to go with pizza.
2 points, Lamb.
He wins. What can I say?
Now, Mr.
Don't
Winchell.
ask me the same question.
You want a different one?
No, you can ask me the question.
Yeah, go for
I'm
it.
gonna get it wrong.
Do you want a different one?
No, that's fine.
What is Mr. Lamb's favorite food?
I know the answer to that.
I consult with Mr. Hildenbrand first. Can I consult with the?
You can phone a
Can I
friend.
phone a friend?
You may phone
If
one
Mr.
I
friend.
don't have a phone I can borrow.
You're allowed one phone.
If Mr. Winchell gets this wrong, can I guess?
Yes.
They already commenced.
What if you?
I'm not allowed to say.
He's allowed to phone a friend.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
All right, Chelsea.
Oh my God.
What's
See the
your-
kind of friends I've got? It's Christmas season. My goodness. All right, I'm gonna say, what's that? Chicken wings.
Excellent guess, but from Andy Brothers Sandwiches.
No, I was gonna say Kit Kats.
That's my favorite.
That was a good one.
The candy. I don't know.
Now you can't ask my favorite candy bar. We gave me the answer.
No, yes, you can.
I kind of just, this isn't like a part of it. This is kind of just like a thing for me. But would you be able to name all of Mr. Winchell's children?
No.
Here's the better question. Can Winchell name all of them?
Yeah, do I get a bonus point?
For naming Lamb's children?
No, for
naming
naming
all
all
of children.
I can name every single one. I can even name middle names. I just got
I would.
This is dog count?
Ooh.
I
It was in the
believe-
Christmas
I was going to
card.
say the dog's name was on the Christmas card.
What's it start with?
Z.
That should be easy. There's only one name that starts with a Z, but that's not it. It's gotta be Zeus.
I was thinking
What is
Zeke.
it? Zeke,
Hint.
Zach.
Famous English rock
Famous
band.
band.
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin, that's it,
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin it is.
How'd you not know that?
Do I have to name my kids now?
Yeah, you're good. Middle names.
Okay,
Yeah, we only have a half an hour show.
Mr. Lamb.
Yes.
Could you name Mr. Winchell's birthday?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm close.
Take a wild guess. You don't have to do years.
I know it. Yeah. He said it in class. It's in
February 30th.
May I say?
He's saying that because I look so young, right?
I couldn't even tell you the month.
Isn't it 9/11?
It is 9/11.
Get out.
Oh.
That's why they put the flags at half-mast. In honor of my birthday. Makes you feel warm right here. Warm and fuzzy.
Mr. Winchell.
Yes.
Could you name Mr. Lamb's birthday?
No.
Would you
Do I
like
get
to
a point for that?
take, would you like to take a wild guess?
Oh,
I'll give you a hint. My mother to this day still cannot listen to Beatles music because the night she went into labor was the night John Lennon was killed. So every radio station was playing nothing but Beatles music.
is it 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
1980.
Correct.
It was a long labor. You wonder why he's an only child. You're not an only child, are you? Your sister.
I have a sister and a brother.
Sister and a brother. Older? Younger?
No, both younger.
Wow, she gave birth for 8. Was in labor for 8 years.
And then had 2 more.
Well, she thought I could I gotta get this right. So went back to the drawing board.
Yeah, my mom didn't tolerate failure.
1980. You're born during the school year, right, Mr. Lynn? I don't know. I want to say November no, when was he? I don't know.
Can I take a guess?
It was,
Go ahead. What's your guess?
October 20th, 1980.
Not
No,
up
wait,
to-
I have no.
what's the month?
I don't think it's
It's just what?
What? It was December?
I was thinking November was late.
Has it already passed?
December 3rd.
Ah, the 9th.
9.
What?
I did.
What?
When you invoked the
Yeah.
Beatles, I was going to say yesterday.
People keep
You may
saying
say I'm a dreamer.
they're all like.
Are they jokes?
So a lot of this that I've been receiving is a lot of questions in the comments, and a lot of them are just saying like, Hildy or Lamb, what does PPG stand for? Mr.
You should ask
Winchell,
your
would
wife.
you play a game of table tennis with Mr. Lamb?
That would be funny.
If Mr. Lamb would play a game of table tennis with me.
Catch more ladies day.
I'll take it.
Oh, good lad.
Okay, can we go on?
Is anyone
Yeah.
asking who Blev is?
Wait, can I go on?
People
we
really
talked
said
about
that
that
earlier.
Have you gone past that yet?
Oh, we
Yeah.
Yeah, we Googled it.
We
for
kind of-
what is
Yeah.
that period, I think.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna. It's their turn.
All right. We're switching.
We're being.
I was.
Oh,
we're being
I
you
was.
host.
How about
Yeah.
that, Mr.
We're
Lamb?
hosting
Okay.
recording.
I'm sorry. I have to go.
Thank